Let's go live. Oh. I'm getting mist fog here. I can see you. I'm just going live now, Carl. All right. So I'll bring you in a minute. Yeah, cheers, mate. Just putting the spy goggles on. Actually, who are you sponsors? Should I not say spy? Oakley, Scott, what is it? Right, I can see some people coming in. I'll just let you come in, people. How's it going? Hello. Hello, all. Oh, they're coming on now. Hi, James. How's it going, mate? All right, let's get these specs on so we can see what's going on here. Bit of HD vision now. Right then, people. Looks like you're all coming in thick and fast now. Good to see you all. How's it going, mate? Who's put that all right, dude? Because your name's not come up on the screen, look. Come on, people. Evening, Mark. Evening, Dan. How's it going? Right, let's get onto this a bit. Let me just take you off there. Right then, people. Lee Ashby here, Motocross and Speedo Memories. Good to see you all. See you all coming on thick and fast now. Nearly 100 online already, live. That's cool. Brilliant. Must be impressed by the guests that's coming on. Right then, I'll just get the thank yous out of the way first, and then we'll get into it. Just want to thank James Burfield of Fourstrokes, online off-road shop. Check them out on www.evenstrokes.com. They're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well, so check those guys out. Big thanks for the support to Simon Pardo of White Eagle Finance. They give quality financial advice for pensions, mortgages, investments, and protection. Check the website out at www.whiteeaglefinance.co.uk. Big thanks to Stefan Everts with his F72 gin and vodka brand. Check all his amazing products out at www.f72gin.com. And big thanks to Tom Brown of Motor Extreme Motocross Shop in Marshfield and his Moto Part 46 practice track, which is just off the M4 at the Bath Junction. Check them out for all their off-road needs you've got, and including the new 2021 Kawasaki's at www.motorextreme.co.uk, and you can phone them on 01225 892227. So check those guys out. Right then, people. Here we go. I can see you all making loads of comments already. Whoa, we've gone well over 100 live already. That's brilliant. Right, here we go then, people. I'm going to introduce the man we got then. Here we go. Right then, people. This chap has won 12 British Youth Championships and was part of the famous Team Green in the BSMA days. 13 years of GP racing, 3 GP Moto victories, including a double win in France and also at the British GP in Matchams. Who could forget his British GP at Foxhill, passing Pouzar and Chody? We'll go on about that tonight. 2 times British Motocross Champion, 5 times in the Motocross the Nations, 3 times British Supercross Champion. I didn't have enough time to say it all before the 30 seconds was up. MX1 Red Bull Pro National Champion as well. And who can forget his appearance on You Bet? Was killing that as well. Here he is. Here's the man, Mr. Carl Nunn. How's it going, Carl?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad at all, mate. Thanks very much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no stress. I've been looking forward.
Sorry for chasing you up for so long.
No, that's good. You need to chase me sometimes. I'm useless.
Yeah, I don't want. That's my game now, chasing people. So
no, it's no stress.
No, top man. Much appreciate it. Anyway, yeah, there's loads of people online already, so everyone's bang up for this. How's my name not coming up? You just have to register it with StreamYard, people, and then I can see your name and your profile when you ask your question. Right, everyone's getting into it. Right, I'll start you off with a question then, Cole, and then we'll get into it when people start asking theirs as well.
Yeah.
How did you get into motocross, mate? And what is your earliest memory of the sport? And can you remember what bike you first ever
had? Yeah, well, I got into it. My dad was racing. So,
yeah.
It all kind of started from there. I was obviously just going to races, watching him race. I think he was only racing like AMCA stuff then. And he was on a Suzuki. And yeah, it kind of went from there. I mean, I thought I was going to basically, in my mind, I wanted to do BMX racing, although I never even went on a BMX track at that point in my life. I think I was just rebelling at an early age, because people was always saying I'm going to be riding bikes. But I started riding a bike, I guess, around 5, and I had a QR, or as my dad calls it, a QR 50, and then we had a Pee Wee Yamaha as well, I think, because they were both identical, I suppose. But and then I think what happened was at some stage, I don't know how it came about, but Alec Wright gave my dad a KX60 from Kawasaki, obviously, and just said, "Here, I'll give this, give this to the boy and let him have a go." I mean, I was only young, and I'd already probably gone for a fence by that point, and I didn't ride for quite a while after that. It kind of put me off, and so I started riding a 60, probably around about 6.5, I guess. But I was small, and we had it so low, it was ridiculous. The performance was like poking me in the eyes. It's just like seat was all cut down and stuff. I was talking to my dad about this today. He's filled me in on all this kind of.
Yeah, you're catching up on it, was you? Doing a bit of swatting up.
I do remember the fork legs hit him in the eyeballs and stuff all the time, but so through the bar, so through the fans. I think they were above the bar pad. Actually, the top of the forks were above the bar pad. That's how low they take it. And then I didn't race. And the earliest you could race then was 7, and that was on a. You had to be on a 60. So as soon as my 7th birthday was done, I was out racing at Ellsworth for my first race that next weekend.
Bloody hell. Actually, I've got Sebastian O'Keefe's come on for Facebook, but I want to bring that up anyways. But I've got the You Bet Jump on the VHS. Can you actually, obviously, what's your memories of that? Have you still got that on VHS tape or?
Yes, I have actually, and I did watch it recently. I found it. My nana kept it, which was pretty cool. And then I got hold of that tape. So it's on VHS. And I was kind of like, this isn't going to even work, And I had to even hunt out a VHS player because I mean, even DVD players are going extinct nowadays. But
that's it.
So I watched it, and my kids watched it as well, and they was like, they just didn't even know it was me, really. That was a bit of a strange one, that one, but it was good fun to do, and it was a prime time TV Saturday night, and all the people at school, and that's when I was at school and stuff, saw it, and I didn't say it because I wasn't somebody that spoke too much about stuff when I was at school. So like when I went back into school, it was like, oh my god, I saw you on TV, and I was like, I was just embarrassed, really. But it was cool. It was a good experience, definitely.
I even have got my own memories of that. I remember watching it, and I was with my family, and they're all doing that. Yeah, he ain't going to do it, and I was like, trust me, he's going to do this. And I was like, building you up. I was like, trust me, he's mint. He's going to do this, and I was like thinking, no, you do this now.
To be honest, I mean, it started off. They changed it because it ended up being like I think sort of like rubber bands kind of thing that I jumped over with tassels on. It did start off as like a high jump bar. It didn't disconnect too well, so they was a bit concerned if I clipped it, then obviously there'd be a problem. And the last jump was pretty big, and,
very,
and it was pretty much to flat as well, which wasn't nice. But I mean,
I remember
it was true. I mean, like they let me have, I think, 1 practice run, and that wasn't timed or anything. And then they worked out a time what they thought, I could do it in, or if I could, whatever. And then when it actually came to it, it was right. That was the countdown, and you had 1 attempt, and that was it. So it had, it had to work. I didn't know if it had worked or not. There wasn't a big digital display on the clock or anything like that.
You didn't know. You didn't have a clue.
No. So so it was proper. It was true to the show. Which was good, and I do remember it pretty clearly, and having to go to the studios and stuff, which was a bit of an eye opener as well.
I bet.
I think I was about 13, 14 then, so it's a bit strange. Right, I was more concerned actually after going on the show, and then I had to start the bike afterwards to ride off, and I knew they do obviously this bit beforehand and everything, so they're talking, and then if I didn't start the bike, then I'd have to redo all that, because obviously the studio stuff wasn't live. And so I was just concerned that I'm just not going to start the bike or something stupid like that, but it did. So it worked out.
All good then, mate. All good. Yeah, it was a good old memory. That was a cool one. That was. Right. Let's have a look what someone's put. Dan Keir's put. Please ask Cole if he could have done anything different during his career. What would it have been? There he is on the screen.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the only thing I can really think, there's probably a lot of things that I would do. I mean, nowadays it's totally different, so you can't compare things. But the only thing I guess I could have done differently was to live in Belgium or something like that.
Yeah.
That possibly would have helped me. But then, me personally, I don't know if it would. It might have helped me for a season or a couple of races.
Yeah.
But you know, I just wasn't that person to live it 24/7.
Yeah.
I needed to be away from it, you know, during the week. And you know, you're doing your training, you're doing everything else, but you don't want to be surrounded by it 24/7. And because, but for me anyway, that's just the way I am. But so that would possibly be the thing that I would change. And that's something I have thought about. I mean, I did spend quite a bit of time in Holland when I was riding for Kees van der Ven. But you know, again, that was just back and forth. Stayed at the workshops and done a bit of practicing and training over there and stuff like that. But it was generally just the week before a race. But I never really spent massive amounts of time over there.
So I suppose a lot of the guys sort of went over there as well to get into all the sand type of thing as well. But obviously, you was already very, very good at the sand anyway.
Well, I mean, sand come naturally to me because obviously I grew up at Chippenham. Yeah, it wasn't a deep track, but it had an element of sand to it, and obviously a lot more than it does nowadays. I mean, I didn't ride there as much as people thought. I mean, I couldn't ride there when it wasn't an open practice day. So I only rode there, you know, all through the winter time. Obviously, my dad was working there, so the only place I could ride would be there. So in the winter time, I'd be riding there, and same as anybody else could. And I guess, I don't know, I just always enjoyed the sand. Sand just felt natural to me. I really wasn't a hard pack rider early on, especially in the schoolboy days. I had to do a lot of work, a lot of training, and a lot of traveling around to races to conquer the hard pack, and working with guys to, you know, help on my technique, because my dad was a little bit, he was always busy. So I mean, he would kind of send me off with this guy and that guy, and, you know, do some work with this guy, and then we'd end up on stubble fields and all things like that. But yeah, so sand came naturally to me. But I mean, as regards to today's sand, I mean, yeah, we rode Lierop and Lommel, and I never had a GP. I did have a GP at Lommel, but that was my last year in the GPs. But you know, I don't know. It's very, very hard, very, very hard to be up there. And you know, it's cool to see the British guys. You know, Simpson's always been amazing in the sand. Watson, both Watson brothers, you know, just really, really good in the
Max
sand.
as well, wasn't he? Max Anstey was good in the sand as well.
Sorry, Max. Yeah, Max. Yeah, I mean,
all the guys.
Yeah, I mean, they've all put the time in over there, you see, and that's what I mean. It kind of changed now. If you want to be competitive, you need to be living over there, you know, on the border of Belgium and Holland, and every time you go riding, you're riding against competition all the time, and I don't know. So that would have been the only thing I would change. But like I say, I mean, I don't think it would help me in the long run mentally. I think I just would have shut down.
You didn't want to do it like the whole 24/7 thing.
No, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, everyone's different with that. I've got a Neil Pierce here. He's put, Carl, do you do one-on-one training days? I'm interested for my son, obviously for next year. I was going to ask you about your training schools and everything, so that's a good one for that.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I've been doing since I finished racing. I don't advertise too much. I mean, it's just, I mean, I've got quite a good group of riders now. I've been working on that for the last, 10 years. But you know, I've got two groups of academy riders at the moment. One of the groups is finished with me now, which is, they've all gone kind of into the adult ranks. We do bits and bobs occasionally. But yeah, I brought some riders, you know, to a decent level, and some of them are in the Maxis now, which has been good to see. Good to watch their progress. Some are still knocking their head on the door, you know, and trying to get in there. And now it's just the next group now. But yeah, I do one-to-one stuff as well. Because the academy is pretty much full at the moment, so I can't take anyone on that front. But one-to-one stuff is what I do during the week. Yeah.
Okay, how do they get hold of you then for that, Carl? Is that on the website?
I've got a Facebook page, Carl Nunn MX
Yep.
Training. Again, I'm pretty terrible at the moment with getting back to people, so just bear with me on that one. It's just, what can I do at the minute? I can't take no bookings. The tracks are either waterlogged, or we can't be out at the moment anyway. So it's kind of difficult. But yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, you can call me. I've got a website. I'm not sure if it's active at the moment. It was. My phone number and all the contact details are on there. That's just carlnon.co.uk.
Okay, cool. There you go, Neil. So there you go, the man from the south. Got no one's name on this one. It put favourite place to ride growing up as a kid. Mine was near our old school, so it must be someone that knows you. Not got the name on there, but
asking me where my favourite place is.
He's put your favourite place to ride growing up as a kid. Mine was near our school, so I'm presuming they know you, but there's no name on that. They've not registered there.
Okay. Well, to be honest with you, it would have been Chippenham, or as it's because I mean, back then you had the main track, and then my dad also over time built another track over the other side. There was two tracks. We sometimes had a race on that, which is where the kids track and stuff is now. There was a wooded section there. There was a big section out the back. I think there was a supercross track there at one point as well. And so what we'd do, me and my friends, we'd ride all day, and then at the end of the day we'd go play riding until dark, basically. Which obviously nowadays you can't do. I mean, you'd be carnage, but you know, it's just it seemed like the biggest area in the world when you're on a 16. But it weren't such a big area. It's where the go-kart track is now at Chippenham. So yeah, I mean, so that I would say that would be favourite place growing up, definitely from an early age, and that is where I learned to ride a bike originally. So
yeah, I remember because they did a lot of BSMA stuff there, didn't they? I remember racing there, like team events a couple of times, and a BSMA finals there. I saw some footage of you not all that long ago on the Team Green 125 there. You probably might have seen it as well. It was quite cool seeing you dropping it down on the jumps.
Yeah, I think I did see it, but I'm not entirely sure it was me.
Wasn't it?
I couldn't tell if it was me or not. I've got to be honest.
Oh, I thought it was. To be fair,
I watched it a few times, and I just thought, I don't know
was
if it's
it me
or not.
I think I've got hang on a minute. I've got a picture here because I've got loads of these pictures, so we can go through some memories in a bit. But you look like you were in that. Oh, hang on, that's the background one. Hang on, let me get it up. Oh, this one. It looked like you were like in that gear and time.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was the only year that I was with Team Green on the Kawasaki. So
yeah,
the following year I went adult, and I was racing in Holland. So it would have been around that time. But I'm not 100% sure it was me, but it possibly is. It was very quick, wasn't it? It was just like,
yeah, it was quite quick, just down by that bit at the front.
Yeah, that tabletop.
Wow. I believed it was you, so we'll have to go with that.
No, that's all right.
It looks smooth, Carl, so we'll go with it. Oh, Colin Thomas has come up, the old Kawasaki mechanic. He's put fond memories of watching you ride for Team Green in the schoolboys, and how was your dad?
Dad's doing all right. I mean, he was looking after his mum and dad, like my granddad JN. Obviously, most people know JN. Jamie Dobb liked JN. He mentioned it the other day. And then he was looking after my nana as well while they were sort of in the last years, basically. And he was amazing, really, how my dad's always just been working on motocross tracks and bikes and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden he's looking after his parents, which is really cool. Something I wouldn't expect him to do. Then now both of them have passed away, so he has a bit of time, but he's basically a MotoGP fan now. He likes watching that, and he tells me all about that. So he's proper into that, actually. I've got to be honest with you. And he did it. He said to me a few times he wished I'd have gone down the road race route, but I've never been on a road race bike, never been on a road bike, on a road bike, even on the road. I had a moped when I was with Thorpe. I had a moped.
Was it Cat Honda on the side? Was it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But
no.
That was only for about 6 months until I passed my test, and then I was driving. But yeah.
Right.
I do remember Colin, obviously, the Kawasaki days. We used to go up to Chippenham. I used to have like a or Dad would take me up there sometimes when the team was up there practicing, which was cool.
Yeah.
You know, it was amazing to see those big trucks back then, and all the mechanics, the personnel, Alec Wright, the riders. You know, it was just a bit of an eye-opener, really, and those guys kind of had the track to themselves. And yeah, to watch that level at that early age, you know, behind the scenes, I guess, because they're practicing and testing. So that was pretty cool times then.
Very cool. Right, I got Mikey Whitewick's come up as well, the old mechanic as well. He's put, Carl, do you remember the time JN pretty much hitchhiked all the way to Switzerland that time? Probably a funny story worth telling.
Yeah, I do remember that. And I'm pretty sure as well that he hitchhiked all the way to Majora in Italy as well.
Yeah.
I might be wrong on that, but yeah, I do remember he loved the bus. My granddad, he just loved it, and he had his bus pass. I don't know if it really helped him abroad, but you know, he'd get on a bus. He wouldn't even know where he was going half the time. And even if he wasn't going to a race, you know, he'd just get on a bus and go up to Scotland and just go around in a bus.
That's brilliant.
And he would turn up at random people's houses, and I'm sure there's a few people that might be on here that would remember my granddad just turning up at their house. Motocross riders that he'd met at races, obviously. In and around, you know, definitely up north. I don't think he ever really went down south. Okay. And but yeah, he was pretty crazy for it, and he didn't want to go on an airplane, you see. So he never. I don't think he ever flew with me anywhere.
Didn't he?
No, he would always either just hitch a ride with someone who was going, or if that didn't work, then yeah, he'd jump on a bus.
That's brilliant.
I don't know how he got there. I've got to be honest.
Love the commitment.
Yeah, I was fully committed.
Gotta love that.
And he liked to climb over the fence when he got there as well. I don't know how he managed that either.
That's what he did.
He got hooked up on the fence at St John d'Angelo, getting over the fence about 10 feet from the security guards who were watching him. And but as he jumped down, the post went up the back of his coat, and he was hanging.
Oh my God!
Feet like that far off the ground.
Oh, classic!
And they actually, I believe they actually just let or some I don't know if my dad helped him off or something, and then I think they just let him in anyway. He could have just walked in.
And he's breaking his neck getting in. That's
Right.
Right, I got one here from James Brown. He put, can you ask Carl about the time he rode at Blacksall when it rained all day, when they all got stuck in the mud, but Carl did not? Remember that?
No.
Okay.
Is that a schoolboy one, or is that an adult one? I mean,
I'm presuming he means adult.
I did a 2-man enduro there.
Okay. With
Gary Hoptroff as my teammate. I did that. That was really, really wet and horrible. I enjoyed it, but it was, when I say enduro, I mean the track was only 4 minutes. It was, I did a few enduros occasionally, but I really enjoyed them when they were nice long tracks. And I mean, Blacksall was cool because it's just being at Blacksall, but it was very short for an enduro there.
There's no name on this one, but someone's put, who was your toughest competition domestically and world?
There's loads. I mean,
so many.
Yeah, I mean, I was always thrown in at the deep end. You know, like I never had it easy. I mean, once I went into the adults,
very young.
You know, I was 14 years old racing in the Dutch Championship, and just having my ass handed to me regularly, and then a good couple of years there, I was just getting annihilated. But the good thing was, obviously, racing against those guys, a lot of those were doing GPs and stuff. Then when it came to my first year in the British, obviously people like Carlson were over here, and Jockey Carlson, and you know, regular GP guys, and so it wasn't a massive deal for me to have those guys in the race because I'd already been up against them or others at, you know, before that. But you know, domestically there was always the British Championship was so strong in the 125 class. You know, we always had wild cards, we always had GP riders come from abroad, we always had people from other countries riding on British teams, obviously the Americans, Mike Brown and Scott Sheik, and man, I can't remember them all, obviously.
Osborne did it as well, didn't
he? Yeah, obviously, after my time.
After.
And yeah, it was just, I don't know, world championship wise, again, you lined up on a 125 and your power difference is not much compared to anybody else's, whatever bike you're on. So,
yeah,
you know, there was at least 20 guys there that could whole shot the race. There was at least, you know, and you went to an Italian race and there seemed to be 50 Italians in it, you know, even though there wasn't, but there just seemed so many, you know. You know, and they would all just be so fast on the hard pack and stuff. So if you got a bad start, it was tough. But yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of, you know, I've rode against a lot of amazing people, and I can't possibly pick who was my toughest, because there's been too many. It was never an easy year, you know, and every single race was different. Every single country was different. Every single track we went to in a different country, you know, it was totally different. And you knew, like I say, going back to the Italy thing, you knew if you was racing in Italy, you was on an Italian track, and it was, you know, hard pack, and Spain the same, or, you know, Germany even, you know, it was all completely different tracks and conditions and surfaces. So it was good fun. It was good fun.
What riders was there riders that you looked up to and idolised when you were young, and why? And did you ever get to race any of your sort of idols that you sort of held esteem when you were young?
I don't know. I guess obviously everyone, like nowadays, I mean, it's much easier now to watch people riding around the world. I used to get videos back in the day of Ricky Johnson and Jeff Ward and those guys. Used to watch the Supercrosses probably 5 years later than they actually came out. Things like that. And watch all those guys going at it, Guy Cooper and so all those guys stick in my mind. But you know, on the European side, obviously you had Thorpe, who was the man. Noisy. I mean, I didn't really ever see Noisy ride, but my dad spoke about him a lot, and I got to work with Noisy. Sort of, it was 2000. He was helping me as a coach, and obviously Mailer as well, because he was young at the time, but I was watching him coming through. But then I don't know, for some unknown reason, I saw like Davy Strybos, Pedro Tractor, and those guys, and they used to be pretty cool to watch. Nice style, and always looked good on the bike as well. And I think at the time as well, I went to the NEC Supercross, I don't know if it was the first ever one, but it possibly was. And
is that the Warren Edwards and all that, was it? Is that the one?
I'm sure. Did Johnson come over for that, or?
Yeah, I think he did.
I mean, a few guys there, were new faces to me, and was sort of followed them from that point on. But obviously, I rode for Dave. I rode for Dave Thorpe. So I remember going to watch him when I was a young kid. I had an injury, and Dad took me to Farley Castle, so I watched him there, and stood another race. And actually got to like stand near him. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Dad probably told me to talk to him because I think Dad knew these guys from the track and stuff, and I was just this little kid. And then obviously to ride for Dave for 3 years after that was pretty cool. Learned a lot from Dave, and a lot of those guys from that era as well.
Yeah, cool. Right, I got someone's here, no name on this one. Hi mate, do you remember Keaton doing a streak just before the start of your GP race at Fox Hills? What was your best times? 125 GPs or 250?
I do obviously remember Keaton doing the streak, because he had my name and number on his back, which was even better. And I think it did make the DVD or video, it would have been then.
Motorvision probably.
I saw it recently actually, because it was the mud. Was it the Nations? Oh,
actually, that was 98. Was it 98? The Nations, the wet one.
Yeah. So what year was? I do remember Lee there. Obviously, it might have been 99, or no, 2000 possibly. I don't know. Yeah, probably.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. But yeah, obviously, I'm not going to forget that, am I? Although I was on the start line, so I didn't see it, in person. But I've seen it. But yeah, so best times. I mean, I do often think of the 125 days as some of the best racing.
Yeah.
It was just, like I say, the tracks, the competition, the qualifying every week, 80 riders. You know, you didn't make that top 20 in your practice or in your qualifying, then you was out. And it, you know, you was going home. But yeah, it was close. It was close. It was good racing, like I say, and it really taught you to ride a bike to its to its maximum level. And then, yeah, obviously, I guess I went possibly to the 250 class too early. I don't know. That's another thing I think about. Maybe did I do that a little bit wrong? I had a good couple of years at it, but it didn't really gel with that. And then back to the MX2 class on the 250Fs, and I really enjoyed that again. But yeah, possibly, I don't know. It's difficult because different eras, different bikes. But you know, I guess the favourite times was the 125 days, because it was, I don't know, it was just so close all the time. And you know, you could be 20th one week, and the next week you get out the start and you're running in 5th, and you're just thinking, wow, this is amazing. You know, and then Frederick Real takes you out or something. You know.
Yeah, remember his head case, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he had that special style with his head to the side all the time.
He took me out. It was quite, you know. But at the end of the day, he was running the number 3, and I was probably running like, I don't know, 56 or something. And I got a good start, and he just decided he didn't need me in the way. So, like
you do.
Yeah,
we've got to talk about that. Go on. Yeah. It's quite hard. Yeah. It was so stacked as well. The classes, weren't they? Jesus.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good.
Yeah, very good competition. Got to talk about that the Fox Hill days. Obviously, it's always a bit of a favourite of mine because it's my hometown. But the day, especially the one that obviously got the wet nations, everyone remembers. But we all definitely remember, and everyone's been talking to me about it as well. The day you went for where you went for the lap of honour after.
Yeah,
that was amazing. The atmosphere, wow.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the lap of honour, that wasn't, I didn't win the race, so, but
yeah, I know.
they kind of said, do it, yeah. And then all these flags started coming out from everywhere, and then the track was mobbed. It was pretty crazy. But
it was madness.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah,
I remember losing my voice as well. Like when you were, I was with my brother and a couple of other lads, because obviously it was close for us. And when you passed Puzar and Chody at the top of that hill, that cheeky little line you had at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
Where I think they were either going in the berm and then you was cutting it up tight. And then you sort of did it the other way around as well.
Yeah, I found a line, and is that picture staying up there now? So I just moved my phone.
No, I'll get rid of that. It's all right. I'll get rid of it. Yeah, no, don't worry. You're trying to move it with your phone.
I found a line, and it worked. I mean, I think the first time I used it was possibly when I passed Puzar. And I don't know, because the track kind of pushed you out to the right hand side on that uphill. And I don't know, I just turned earlier and used less track, and you know, managed to get up alongside Puzar, and that was that. And then, I mean, I watched it not so long ago, and I just it keeps popping up actually, and I don't understand how as soon as I passed Puzar, I was right on Coyote, because he didn't seem to be in the sight going up that hill.
Yeah,
he come out of the next corner and Coyote was there. I don't know if he made a mistake or had gone down in that corner, but obviously then that gave me the sight on him, and he was just, both of them were just too clever. You know, they just wanted to wear me down.
What was you thinking? You must have been absolutely was you just buzzing at the time, thinking, Jesus, I'm literally like right in there mixing it with these?
Yeah, I mean, it was all unexpected. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember. I'm trying to think today about the Saturday to kind of think, where did I qualify? I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I must have been all right because I had a decent gate pick. Qualifying was never really my strong point. One lap anyway. You know, I didn't like to hang it out too much. But
yeah.
And then obviously the start of the first race, I didn't get a particularly good start. But I just made moves on the first couple of laps. I think I passed a couple of people down the first hill, the gnarly so we went up the long veranda hill and then left at the top, dropped down, and then I made a couple of passes down there, and I was like basically 4th or 5th, and then just I don't know, got into a really good rhythm, and like I say, I found some good lines, and just carried momentum, and obviously was learning from those guys in front of me. I mean, both Puzar and Coyote, amazing hard pack riders anyway.
Yeah.
And after I'd kind of stuck with them for a couple of laps, and I believed in myself a little bit more, you know, with each lap. And then, I don't know. I think always, though, I was never strong enough mentally to take it to the finish. I don't know. I kind of think about why did it get away? But, you know, again, I watch it and I think like Coyote was like playing a little bit. But the crowd was amazing, and they obviously got me up there and got me buzzing, and it was first time I've ever felt anything like that. Obviously with the atmosphere and everything the place creates the most amazing atmosphere. And there was just noise. It was just solid noise, and everywhere I went around the track, there was arms waving over the fence, flags, air horns, and it was just crazy. And then, like I say, I think Coyote kind of like just sat there and was waiting, let me have my little moment of glory for a couple of laps. Right, I'm going to get out of here now. And then he just came by. I had a little kicker on a sweeper, and it just blew my momentum enough on a 125 just so Coyote could get alongside me and pass me. And then I was probably blowing a little bit then because I'd been running on adrenaline. And then I think Puzar came by at the end of the first race, and then second race was a different story. I mean, that one, again, I didn't get probably a worse start. Oh no, sorry, it was Vilman. Vilman came through at the end of the first race. Past me, and I think, and then the second one, I mean, I just made my way through gently. I didn't lead the second race, but I just kind of picked my way through. And I remember Vilman passed me in the first race, and I was a little bit gutted about that because it must have been towards the end of the race. And I got a sight of Vilman, and then I reeled him in and I passed him back, and obviously that gave me second overall. So yeah, I kind of got my revenge. But it was cool, really good.
It was amazing, mate. I literally I've seen a lot of good races, but the old hairs on the back of the neck job and everything that was during that race, I was like, when you passed Jody and that's the lead, I was like, holy shit! Oh, hello. That's beautiful.
I can't get it in there. Hang on.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
that's the one. That's beautiful.
That's the one. Yeah.
Who painted that, Carl?
Jason Fowler, JLF.
Yeah. JLF Designs, yeah. That's nice.
Right.
It went lovely with the yam and the kit as well, didn't it?
Oh yeah, it was perfect. You've done a great match
beautiful.
On the kit. Yeah, it just worked. Really good. Really good.
Very cool times, mate. That was a great memory for sure. Everyone's been talking about that one. Someone's put, have you had a Stella yet?
No. I've given up.
Is that a coffee or a tea?
It's a cold coffee now, I've got to be honest.
Oh,
Jesus.
No,
it's coffee. Yeah.
Chris Askew's put, do you still ride or you miss riding?
I don't ride. I do miss riding. Only reason I don't ride, I mean, I don't have a bike at the moment.
Okay.
I do when I do my training days, the academy days and stuff. I jump on some of their bikes, and not 65s, obviously, but you know the bigger ones, and I have a bit of fun. But honestly, I mean, I'd be a fair weather rider now because I'd want to be enjoying it as much as possible. I mean, I loved mud racing back in the day; it was my favourite. But I don't want to go out and get muddy now. But you know, I'd want to be riding on a something I really look forward to riding on. It's just not. It's getting less and less tracks around. I do see places and I see guys riding. I think, oh, that looks cool. But you know, I often think if I do, you know, if I get another bike, you know, what would I get? And you know, there's 250Fs. I mean, I'd want a small bike, you know, 250F or a 125. And I do often think about a 125. You know, just get out, and because that way I know I would be smiling, don't matter what conditions. you know, it'd just be a fun day.
Yeah.
But
So if I said to him, Carl, like, we're gonna have that, we've had that little discussion about that reunion meeting, BSMA reunion, and all that I was on about.
Mm-hmm.
We could get you a peach of a 125, I reckon, if we put it out there that I'm gonna get Carl to come there and have a little ride. I reckon we could get a very sweet 125.
Yeah, no, I mean that'd be. Well, you did mention it to me, and I'm pretty keen. I'm pretty keen.
Yeah.
It'd have to be somewhere for me to, you know. Are you still there?
I just lost you for a second. I just lost you for just a second there. Say that little. I think you just missed the last couple of seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd have to be somewhere cool, so a good track, and then I'll be
Fox Hill. Fox Hill.
Well, that would be, I'd be up for that for sure. That'd be fun. Yeah,
that would be cool, mate. We'll have to
Not
get.
in
We'll
the
have
rain.
to. No. No. That wouldn't be so fun, would it? That wouldn't be fun.
No, not really. But
that would turn into more of a lap of honour thing then.
Yeah. Well, if you could get a lap, yeah.
Yeah. Across the bottom of the hills and all that. But yeah, that'd be awesome, mate. So we'll have to see what's going on with this bloody COVID and everything, and but that's definitely going to happen, mate. So it'd be awesome to get you there, that's for sure.
Yeah, no,
we'll be all over that. Yeah, brilliant. Got a few people saying we got to get his dad on, Lee. Someone obviously knows you. He's put get his dad on, Lee, and tell him I requested it. We just can't see the bloody name.
Do you know what? I spoke to my dad about this a couple of days ago because he's on Facebook now, and he's like,
I see that.
It's a massive learning curve for him. He just shares everything. And like 15 times as well.
Not too sure what's happened there. Yeah,
and the week after it gets shared again, and but yeah, I was talking about because he was like, how do I watch this interview? He said.
Yeah.
So I just said, look, I sent him the invite to your page and stuff.
I see that. Yeah, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, and I said to him, I said, you need to get on it. You need to get on there. And he said, I can't do that. I I said, yeah, you can. I said, they'll love it.
100%.
He's straight talking with it all, and he might swear a bit, but
that's fine.
You'd get some good insights out of him. I mean, he's still pretty clued up on it all.
I bet. Yeah.
And because he'll remember stuff that I won't remember. So
yeah.
But yeah, I did say to him it would be good if he'd do it. So
yeah, it would be good. Fingers crossed. Then
you should contact him.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't mind hounding the nuns. It's all good. Right, here we go. We got James Stanton's put. During your career, who was your best team you raced for, and which was your favourite race bike? Interesting one. Had quite a few good teams there. Oh, have I lost you? Oh, hold on, I've lost him a minute. Hopefully he'll come back. It's just froze for a second on Carl's end. Hopefully he'll be all good. Oh, back again. All good. All right.
Yeah, back. Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
No.
We just got Suffolk installed. Internet installed in Suffolk in the last 10 years. So it might.
You said to me about that. Yeah. Someone ran into it.
Well, we're progressing into the new times.
Yeah. I'd say, did you get that question? So James Stanton said, during your career, who was your best team you raced for, and which was your favourite race bike?
Yeah.
Ooh. Had a few of them.
Right. So I'm just going to say, best team would have been Champ KTM.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally was. The bikes were phenomenal. But not only that, I mean, they were full factory bikes. My mechanic was incredible. And the bike was basically brand new every week from the ground up. They used to change clutches on my bike because teammates at the time, Tyler Rattray, Mark DeRuva, David Philipparts.
Yeah. And
those guys used to like a clutch. And it was kind of a rule, I don't know how many clutches, 3 a weekend or something, 2 a weekend. And my mechanic could take my clutch out and be like, we don't need to change it, but we're going to change it anyway. And then, I don't know. It was that's just how they were.
Yeah.
And like I said, everything was just so professional. And my mechanic at the time, Serge, I didn't have a great. I got really long fingers, so like, the levers on the bike, I couldn't have a nice feel with my fingers. So
Okay.
my mechanic would file the levers down by hand.
Wow.
To make them more
that detailed. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it showed me, and I did at the time. I didn't really think about how much time that must have took him, but I'm sure he'll tell you. But yeah, I mean, it was so long, but it was such a. But that's the kind of thing you see, that just the attention to detail, and the time that they would put in as well. And then bike wise, obviously the KTM for sure, because I mean, the rear shock I did struggle with, but it's a little bit down to me with suspension. I was a rider that used to get used to things too easily, rather than figure out how to sort it out.
Okay.
But you know, then before that, the Yamahas with Dixon and the 125s, we had occasional reliability problems, but then all 125s did then. They were so highly tuned, but definitely the second sort of 99, 2000, the engines were really good. Even 98, I was just on a kitted bike. Malin had the good one from Rinaldi, I think, the engine.
Okay.
So I was kind of on the B bike basically. But yeah, those bikes were good. And then I mean, my Honda was good in 04, but wasn't quick, but it handled very well. And then the 450 Suzuki I rode in 2008, that was really nice as well. That was smooth, possibly detuned, because I don't know, it just was, it was lovely. And then the next year we had like 12 horsepower too much, and I was just basically a passenger and a flag waving up. I just couldn't hold on to it, and it just was unenjoyable. But that 450 Suzuki in was it 08? No, 09. Yeah, that was good. That was a good bike. Really enjoyed riding that bike. So they'd be my favourite bikes.
What was the transition like for you from the two-stroke when it all started going, obviously, to the four-stroke way? Was that good for you, or?
To me, right. So I was on the 252 stroke, sort of on the Kawasaki, which with MJ Church, and
I remember that.
The four-strokes were coming. You know, like man, that year was so hard. I just was riding hard, and I just wasn't getting. Was banging my head on the wall. And once we got once the 250s, I started on those, obviously, and then they just felt easy to ride. They did feel like kind of heavy, but the traction that you got from them straight away, the heaviness gave you that traction on hard pack tracks and stuff like that, and obviously the torque in the engine compared to the two strokes. It just became an easier bike to ride, but you still had to get the most out of them on race day. So it was just it wasn't really a transition. I guess in some respects it would be a lot harder to go the other way. You know, if you think about it, like to go from a four-stroke, if you'd never rode a two-stroke, it's kind of an easy step. But yeah, they are very, very user-friendly compared to the two-strokes, but expensive to run.
Yeah, sure. Got Daniel Hill. He's put, I remember the days of Colin Nunn winning in the hundreds and on the KX80, and then his dad winning the dad's race on the AT2.
That was probably his last ever race then. My dad, because I don't know. Again, those days. I mean, when I got on the big wheel, I'll say big wheel. That's what it is nowadays. But the 100. Yeah. Oh man, that was just so cool. I loved them bikes. The 80 was good as well. But the 100 was just so cool. And I spent 2 years on the 100. And that's some good battles in the schoolboy days as well. I mean, there was some tough competition, coming from there. Being a team green boy, you had a target on your back, you know.
Yeah, you did. You definitely did. Yeah, but it was a very cool setup. It looked very professional in the BSMA and all that. And did you enjoy all those years? Obviously, in that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was what it was. I mean, it was completely professional. It was run you know, there was always the guidance of Alec Wright. He was the boss at Kawasaki, and but you know, we had rules. You know, I wasn't allowed to do, you know, things as in much modifications to the bike. The bikes were meant to be stock, which is why in Holland, when I went and raced the Dutch Championship in '94, my bike was stock, and obviously I was on the team with Jan de Groot. Stefan Everts was riding for Jan at the time, and Carlson, Jamie Scavenels, and I was struggling in this deep sand on this 125. And Jan de Groot was just like holding his, you know, head in his hands, like, we need to do something. And Alec was like, no. But it was just the way Alec was, you know. It was kind of your proving ground, you know, and that's what it was like with Team Green. But you know, yeah, we had all the equipment to go racing, but there again, you know, the other things were Alec wanted me to do the events, the big events. That was it. You know, so if an international came up in Holland, or we did one in Scotland and places like that, we had to be there, and that was it. And then going back to, like, so I was struggling in the hard pack and stuff like that, and grass, and a lot of the BSMA stuff was on grass, and I really struggled on that. So my dad used to just load me up in the van, and I didn't know where I was going, and then we'd end up in this grass field somewhere at a race, and you know, you got these lads riding. You know, obviously, one's back in the day, Chris Cownley and Rocket Roy Wells. You know, so fast on that stuff. And they taught me a lot. They taught me a lot, and we had some good battles. But yeah, Team Green was pretty cool. And you know, I would like to see it. You know, I know Jeff Parrott was doing some stuff, and he was doing a pretty good job. And it'd just be nice to see something like that come back. You know, because it was a cool time. See, obviously Kawasaki in America are still doing stuff like that, I believe. But you know, who knows? It would be nice to see it come back, though.
Yeah, it was. It was very legendary, that's for sure. Oh, Lewis Toombs has just come up and put, is it true Mud Marie can drive an RC car better than you, Carl?
No, that's not true.
So I knew you got into this and everything. Can you tell us all about that? How did that all come about? And don't you just sort of do some spray things on them as well and stuff like that?
Yeah, I paint body shells now and stuff like that. I mean,
it's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, it started off as a hobby, obviously, like most things, and we just used to smash them apart all the time, mostly. But now we're a little bit more serious about it. Well, yeah, it's possibly too serious sometimes, but you know, Toomsy and Jake and Elliot Banks Brown got into it as well at one point. Elliot dropped off pretty quickly, but Toomsy and Jake, they come over a bit, and we have a bit of a blast. It's been a while though, so them boys need to get over it. But yeah, so it's just a hobby really, and it's just fun. I mean, we go out there in full motocross mode. It's like T-Bone Central, and you know, and when the problem is we do go racing seriously sometimes. I mean, I say seriously to a club race or something, and I got like stop and go penalties and stuff because I drove into people, and you're not meant to touch, and you know, it's a bit like any kind of car racing, I suppose. It's quite serious, but I was a little bit still in the frame of mind of how we drive when we're messing around. But so that's basically it on that. I mean, it does take up. I do the painting I'm doing all the time. I do want to start doing helmets. I started messing about with a few helmets, and it's a passion that I want to do, and something I really want to progress into doing, custom painting helmets and stuff. So
yeah, everyone likes spray jobs, as we used to call them.
Well, yeah, you know, back in the day, it was, you know,
so cool.
It was the thing to have, and obviously now standard helmets are so good nowadays anyway. But there's still, you know, people always love a custom painted helmet. You know,
100%,
and there's not a rider out there on the start line in the GPs that don't just grin from ear to ear when they receive their new helmet. You know, fully sprayed up.
Yeah, so I think ever since the American days, and they pick up the old glossy magazines of the Americans and everything, they were pretty trick, weren't they?
Oh yeah, all the bright colours. You know, I'm
Yeah,
still a little bit old school on that. That's for sure. You know, I'd like to see the bright colours and stuff. But
yeah. I mean,
everything's
yeah.
black now, isn't it?
I
Everything's
know
black.
it gets a bit
But
weird, a bit boring.
it does. It looks good. I mean, it's time relevant, I guess. But it's
Stealth mode.
it's nice to see those bright colours come back occasionally, and just
Yeah,
get some
definitely
Jeff
better.
Matazovic designs going on.
Yeah, I
So.
love that. Jeff Matasovic. Yeah, they were brilliant. All those American ones, weren't they? Jeff Wards and all them, they were pretty cool.
Yeah.
Someone's put here, there's no name on this one, but it's put, what do you think is missing now from British Motocross, which would encourage riders to fill the lineups every round? It seems sparse in most races.
GP riders is one thing that's missing from British Championship, but yeah, I don't know. I've got to be honest with you. I mean, it's tough now with the GPs being so many rounds and so many flyaway races as well. Back when I was doing it, there was at least 10 guys, I guess, doing the 125 class or MX2, and probably not so many in the Open at the time, but GP riders racing or riders doing GPs that were racing the British Championships.
Yep.
So the level, was good, and I mean the level is good now. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying I don't know what's gonna. I think possibly there's too many championships, too many championships, and I don't know. I've talked to a few people about it, and I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it, and whatever I say is not going to change anything anyway. But it would be nice to see it kind of come back to how it used to be, I guess. I mean, spectators is another thing as well. You're not getting kind of the big crowds. But that is a tough one. I mean, I haven't been to enough races to know much really at this point anyway. Obviously, no one's been to many races this year, but over the last couple of years, I've been to too many races to watch. But yeah, it is tough. It is tough to say. It's the same with the GPs. I don't know what to say really.
Yeah. Someone's put, speaking of fences, Wes Carlisle's put, speaking of fences, wasn't it you that flipped over the fence at a French GP?
At the Nations, yeah, twice. I don't know if I did it at the GP. I think it was St John d'Angely. The Nations in 2000. It was the heat race or the qualifying race on the Saturday. I come down one of the hills on the first lap, and I went for the brakes, and my rear brake didn't work. And if you're committed coming down a hill with a 180 corner at the bottom of the hill to go back up again, you ain't going to rely on that front brake. And I obviously tried to slow down as much as possible, but anyway, I hit the fence, and I actually ended up on the start straight, and the bike was stuck on top of the fence.
Was it?
I was pretty lucky. Yeah, I was pretty lucky. And it's where the mechanics area is now. That's where I ended up. And it was found that the brake pads had fell out on the first lap. A collision with somebody or something, I don't know, and the pin had come out.
Bloody
so I the brake pads. But all I remember is before that race is the ACU had said, because obviously my other race was the first Nations I did was Fox Hill, and that was wet, so it's just crazy. So this one was like, obviously there's a bit more talking involved about tactics, and it's like whatever happens, you finish the race. Obviously if you can. So then I had to do the whole of the heat race with no rear brake on like the side of the hill and on hard pack. And man, I struggled, and I shouldn't ride it. All I could do was ride round. I couldn't pass no one. I wouldn't even catch the bloke. Once I got back on, I couldn't even catch anybody. And then we went to the LCQ in the morning. We got in, luckily. And then the first lap of the first race, I believe, went off the start. There was carnage on the second corner, and I somehow hit the fence head on, went over the bars, over the fence again, a different fence though.
Jesus.
And I was really having a job with the fences that weekend. But I don't know. I mean, I love that track as well, and
it's nice, isn't it?
But I got to see it from both sides of the fence.
literally. Actually, talking about France and everything. What was your memories of the double GP race win, wasn't it, in the 125s? I remember that. Very cool.
Yeah, Plomion. Yeah, that was good. I mean, I was working with Noisy, so that was 2000. yeah, I've been knocking on the door a little bit. The year before in France, I believe the first GP, I finished second overall, and then I got injured. And I had a couple more podiums that year. So it was, you know, it was kind of coming, but I don't know, to go that weekend, the track was perfect for me. It was hard packed again. It was a little bit wet, or possibly quite wet. But I don't know, it just suited me. I had a really good qualifying, which again, unlike me, I wasn't pole. I think Johnny O'Bear was pole, but I was sort of second or third, maybe fourth. So I had a really good gate pick, and I think I got the whole shot or second or something. And then I had this line. It was just the most beautiful line you could ever imagine. Noisy was so good with lines, and
love a line.
And we was walking the track, and he said that there was this drop-off section, and it was on a part of the track where no spectators could be, and no one could see it. It was like weird. And there was this drop-off, and behind this drop-off was all these ruts, and everyone would just drop off, like roll off, legs out, pin it through the ruts. And I remember, like, I don't know, I'm sure Noisy just said, just launch it. And I said, what, to flat? And he's like, yeah, just launch it to flat. And I thought, that ain't going to be possible. Anyway, like, once I got in front in that first race, I think I did it for one lap on the Saturday, and I did it and realised it was doable. And that was it. I didn't do it again. So nobody saw me do it.
Okay, so maybe
none of the team guys, nothing like that. And then, so once I got out in front in the first race, I mean, this line was got to be worth 1 second to 2 seconds a lap, right?
Yeah,
easy. And because you imagine slowing down and rolling off this drop and powering through the ruts, or just hitting it pinned and launching off it. It was out of a corner, so don't get me wrong, it wasn't hitting at 50 mile an hour, but it was still just out the corner, lean back and just pin it. And so once I got out front, I waited a lap. I think whoever was second at the time, I can't remember now if it was O'Bear or who it was, but I made sure that they couldn't see me when I did it. So I tried to get a gap. And once I got a gap, then that was it. All I did was just do it every lap. And they didn't know I was doing it. And
it just kept pulling.
Yeah, possibly someone else must have cottoned onto it. I don't know. But then the second race, again, the same thing. I just got a good start. And obviously the confidence built from the first race.
Yeah.
And there was one section of the track, what was like a scale X-Trix. It was like this sort of S-turn section down a hill, round a corner, back up the hill and round another corner. And there must have been 6 ruts. And every single lap, there was someone down in these ruts. So I'd come down the hill and there'd be Noisy hanging over the fence, giving me the fingers, as in like which rut to take, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And so I knew if whatever one he told me was going to be a clear rut, because once you was in these ruts, you was in it for the next 2 corners.
Oh, yeah. So it's proper ruts, yeah.
Yeah. So again, that was quite handy. Yeah.
So you had some cool little cheeky lines out of the way. I love a bit of cheeky lines. That's brilliant.
Yeah. Whereas, back then lines were important, and I used to
very
track on a Saturday night after 125 GP.
Yeah.
And you'd look around on these corners and stuff, and you'd be like, "Who's done that?" And all of a sudden, they've missed the corner. People have missed the corners. I'm like, I didn't see that. I didn't see no one doing that. So some of these times, some of these corners were being shaved, little fractions of a second were being shaved off, where they're missing the inside post and stuff.
Big things, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's not the way to do it. But like I say, I'd always notice it. I'd be the last person to notice it normally.
Yeah. Be like a Western beach race with the fences down.
Yeah, don't get me on that one.
Did you do the beach race? Did you do the beach race?
I've done that a few. That's why I never went back, because it's just
so annoying.
3 hours racing, and like, yeah, you try and do the whole track, but some people aren't.
Yeah, I've heard that few people got results like that as well.
I can imagine they did. I didn't.
No, I'd be the one following the track around as well when everyone's doing that. I've got what's that? Mr. Ben Masters has also put John Radford, and he says hello. John Radford says hello.
Yeah, hello John. How you doing?
Yeah, good lad. Had some good battles with him in the BSMA. I'm sure you did as well, didn't you? In the hundreds, I think.
Yeah.
I had some of them in the 125s. Great lad. Mr. Stuart Holland put the force was strong with Mr. Young Nunn.
Yeah, well,
it was possibly.
Yeah,
it was. Daniel Beams has put, how did you find working with Guy Martin?
That, to be honest, that was really good. It was a really fun day, and we did. was a proper day of training for Guy. Obviously, he was working or doing this jump, or recreating this jump from the Great Escape film, and they gave me a call because they were concerned about his technique and stuff like that. So that's how that all came about. And obviously, we did this day of training on the bike, and ironed out a few problems which would have caused him some problems, definitely with jumping and stuff. But yeah, what a guy! I mean, he's just like he's on I don't know, he's on another level, isn't he? He's just things he talks about. I don't even know.
He's a good character.
Yeah, he's I'm not engine orientated, you know. I couldn't take an engine.
Yeah, I'm not. No, yeah.
He'd sit there and he'd just do all that sort of stuff, and that's what he's all about, and he just wants to know how everything works. And the questions he was giving me about the techniques and stuff, and what I was saying, he's picking at the stuff that I was telling him, and because he wants to understand it.
Yeah, the ins and outs of it. Yeah,
how he wants to see it. So yeah, it was really good, and it was a good fun day. We had good weather that day as well.
Yeah,
and he's just a good guy.
Awesome. That sounds really fun. Someone's no name on this one, but Waits Colin or Ling?
Ling. But I do love Waits Colin as well. I did love Waits Colin back in the day, but Ling all day long. Yeah.
You liked a bit of that Sam there. Had some good results there as well, didn't you?
Yeah, to be honest, both tracks. I mean, they're both quite local to me, but again, they're not tracks that you can ride. You know, Ling, I've always wanted to ride there, and the first time I ever got to ride there was in a British Championship, and I've done more races at Ling since quitting because of racing local centre races. Yeah, than I did probably professionally. Yeah.
Billy Mitchell's put, what was your thoughts when you crashed in the bomb hole at Ling? Was that Ling?
I don't.
I think I got a picture of this. I don't know if this was Billy. Ling or Matchams, or was it Ling? Hang on, here it is.
Oh yeah, no, that's Matchams.
That's going to say that's Matchams, not Ling.
Yeah.
I see Tommy Searle on. Is that Mackenzie as well?
Yeah, Mackenzie. Yeah, and Tommy's there.
Tommy's there. Yeah, that's it. What happened there then?
That one all came about. I had a little collision with Tommy just before that.
Okay.
And it just sent me a little bit off balance, and then where they graded the race line, because that was obviously the track, the first turn joined off them drops, and it was soft. It was just that filled a hole in basically, and the front went one way, then it went the other, and it just launched. The bike went that way, and I went that way, and I was just nutting. And then the next thing, I'm laying on the floor thinking I'm at the front of this field, and there's 39 other guys now dropping down.
Yeah.
Luckily, I fell off the racing line. So
that was good.
And then they stopped the race, not because of that. There was another crash halfway around the lap, and then there was a bit of confusion there because I wasn't supposed to start the race because it was stopped, but it wasn't stopped because of me. It was stopped because of somebody else. But there was a little bit of confusion. But luckily, I got going. But I mean, I think I got an 18th after that because I was in so much pain.
But how hurt was you? How hurt? Yeah.
Just my hip was dead. I mean, landed on my hip on top of the berm from that height and speed.
Yeah.
Just dead leg. I mean, I can't even remember. I know it was painful though.
Very.
Yeah.
Someone's mentioned about that as well. And then, so your Matchams, when you won the first race, didn't you? The British Grand Prix at Matchams.
Yeah, I mean,
that was a very cool one, wasn't it?
When you're riding for KTM, they expect you to win. They're not really. If you don't win, they're not really worried what other result you get. And all my teammates kept doing all the winning. So, but no, I mean, I'd come off an absolute shocker the week before in Japan.
Okay.
And I don't think I scored a point. And I went all that way for 2 races, and I didn't get on with the track. I don't know what it was. I just I don't know. And obviously you're always excited for the British GP. And being at Matchams, I mean, the track was phenomenal. It was just brilliant. We was all looking forward to it anyway. I remember that, and just to get there and see it and walk, it was like, oh man, this thing looks amazing. And then right from the first session of practice and stuff, I felt good. I mean, I had a pole position that GP as well. That's very rare for me. I think I possibly only had three or four pole positions in GPs. So I lined up on the inside gate, it was a perfect gate. You know, pole there was quite important, definitely for that start.
Yeah.
I shot the heat race, won the heat race, which, gave me pole for the main races. Same thing again. I think my whole shot the first one. Obviously, the first one was tough. First race has never been my strong point either. I'm normally, I like to kind of get going throughout the day.
Yeah.
Normally ride a little bit tight in the first race, but that one was good. I mean, I had McFarlane and Philip Hart's all over me. And just hounded me, and I just held my line, just kept my rhythm going. And possibly they were quicker than me, but they couldn't get by. Obviously, to win that race was pretty cool, because it seemed like it was never going to happen again, you know. And then the second race, I mean, I sat in the truck between races, and I was absolutely finished. Like not physically, but mentally just done. And and I was thinking, what is wrong with me? Like, I'm never tired like this between a race, like literally to the point of like I want to go to sleep. And and then I was like, I must have like jet lag, and I've always said I've never had jet lag and all that kind of stuff. And coming from Japan the week before,
it's a long way.
The time difference, and and I just sat there, and I couldn't do anything between the race. I was just absolutely hanging. And then I got out the start in the second race, and I was up there again, and I was like, oh, no, and I thought it was the first lap, but I don't think it was. I think it was a couple of laps in. I managed to go into a corner with my foot on the brake and not even know my foot was on the brake and stall it. And I couldn't start the bike, and I was last, and I had to push the bike up a tabletop and bump start it on the way down. And I got going again, and then came through to like, I don't know, 14th or something, and finished 4th overall, like 1 point off the podium or something stupid. If I'd have just rode round, it's just that once I got out front, I just thought, I don't know, I should have just settled, because it would have been I could have finished 8th and still got on the podium. Yeah. But it weren't to be, so whatever. I mean, I still got the race win, which was good. Very good, yeah. And I know it was my fault what I did in the race. The second one with my foot on the brake, it was just ridiculous. But it was something I couldn't stop. Like I say, mentally, I was just drained. Yeah.
There's just a little bit of fade on that. Yeah. No, it was a great, still a great weekend, wasn't it? And obviously the fans were buzzing of you winning a race and everything. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was good to get that again. Yeah, like the crowd behind you again, and all of that. And it was, the atmosphere there was really, really good. It was, like the British fans have always said, have been, I've always, from obviously going to the other countries, and you hear how they are with their own riders and stuff. The British fans just seem to be that next level on the way they get behind their riders.
And like you say, Carl, people still talking about that Matchams one now, and the Fox Hill ride still now, all these years later.
Yeah, Fox Hills
special.
Fox Hills was, I didn't win, which is kind of weird, because it's still like, but I did finish second, and I had 2/3. It was the first time I've been on the podium, so
very cool.
It was just unexpected, I think. And obviously France was where I won, and that one don't get talked about as much as Fox Hills, but
no, it doesn't. No,
but it's just, like I say, that whole weekend was just cool. The track was amazing that weekend in '98. It was just, there was lines, and it was just good, and massive crowd,
proper enjoyable,
and just flat out 125 racing.
Gotta love a bit of flat out 125 racing.
Yeah,
sounds lovely as well. Sebastian O'Keefe has put, Matt Coles is doing one of your old Cat Honda 125s up.
Yeah, I'd see that actually. I read that somewhere. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I don't know how we got hold of that bike, but yeah, a couple of guys actually. I've had a couple of guys contact me, and they've made some replicas of the Hondas, and the Yamaha actually as well. So yeah, it's kind of cool to see. Yeah, definitely.
Seems to be the thing now. Everyone sort of almost wants to reminisce and get these bikes together. Even the bike competition I got now as a Rob Herring replica and everything. Everyone goes mad for these things.
I know. This, it's good. It's good. I mean, I don't know.
Very
if
cool.
It's something
very cool.
That, I kind of want a modern bike, but That's just me, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like my dad. I said to my dad, because he's got a couple of old CZs and stuff. And
Oh, yeah.
when I say old, I mean they're in good
Proper old.
shape. You know, they're
Yeah.
pretty much,
Oh, they're
they're
nice,
pretty
aren't
good.
they? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They are. Yeah, they're good. And and I always say to him, or what I have said to him in the past, why don't you ride one? And he's like, why would I want to ride one? You know, like, what's the point? It's just no point. You know. And plus, he's had to have some parts made for one of them as well, and the pipes and chrome and all that sort of stuff, and it would just be destroyed. So it looks good sitting in his front room. It's like the newest. Sounds stupid, but because he's moved into my nana and granddad's house where they were living, it's like the newest thing in the house. His old bike.
Proper old school in there, is it? Proper old school in there, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's
I
probably
love
a bit
it.
more modern now. More modern now, I'm sure.
Got another one here. No name on this one. What fond memories do you have from your Husky years? Husqvarna.
Yeah, I mean, the engine was unbelievable. I had some really, really good hole shots in the GPs on that thing. I mean, the British Championships as well. I mean, I led the British Championship the first year until the last race when Crockeye beat me. Again, I think I just wasn't mentally strong enough. I don't know, just wasn't. Next year, I finished second in the British Championship again, but I think it was to Paul Cooper that time. But the bike was, the engine was unbelievable. I remember at Vulcansward, I completely missed the jump on the start. I didn't have enough revs. I dumped the clutch and the bike bogged, and I just double clutched it and still whole shot.
Crazy.
And I was like, I just don't understand. Because obviously that leaves your mind as soon as you leave the start gate.
Yeah.
And then I went around the first corner, and I'm like, how has that just happened? You know, like, but yeah, it's such a strong engine. It was so strong, but I mean, it was so hard to turn, and it handled pretty bad. But
did it?
Yeah, the chassis on it was very dated. And although the engine wise, we could have anything we wanted. The factory was, we was in Italy quite a lot then, doing development stuff, testing and things like that, and they would pretty much make stuff overnight for the engine. But to do with the suspension and the chassis, it was kind of a no, and it was a bit of a difficult situation. But yeah, that engine, honestly, I don't know, I can't explain it, but it was smooth as well. That's the thing. So much torque, so much mid-range power. It was just incredible.
Is that one?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
There you go.
But then,
beautiful.
Further into the race, I mean, I'm the one. I was going around. I think I was leading it for a lap or two, and then I was in front like Pichon and Crockeye, I think, and I wasn't even doing the step down because I was scared of what was going to happen when I landed.
Pogo stick job.
And I'm just thinking, I'm leading this race, and I'm probably the only one not jumping the step down. You know, kind of embarrassing, really. But like I say, when something's not quite right for me, then I back down a little bit, and that's it.
Ride within yourself, smooth,
yeah, and then just hope I can make that time up somewhere else.
Yeah, because a lot of the boys obviously used to just hang out on the ragged edge, as we would call it.
Yeah, and to be honest, I suffered a lot with arm pump on the 250s as well.
Okay.
And that was another issue that would always play on my mind, like, when's it coming? When's it coming? You know? I did beat it a few times, but it didn't help me, the one moto format at all. I hated that. I really, really didn't get that at all. Yeah. And obviously, the first, like I said, I wasn't really ever a first moto man anyway.
You couldn't ride yourself in,
Yeah, so I'd get the arm pump in the first moto, and that's me done for the day. I remember going to Australia and just blowing it in Australia and one moto, and coming home. That was a long flight home. Trevor Avery weren't too happy with me that day.
People have been mentioning. John Radford said I might have a spare KX125 by then. I think he's talking about the Fox Hill reunion.
Oh yeah, cool, yeah.
He's got himself a little cheeky sort of pro circuit 125 himself, John.
Oh, nice.
Very nice it is, yeah. He's having a dabble again now, so I'm sure he'll be there.
Yeah.
Cool. We got a hello, friends from Panama.
Yeah, hello. How are you?
We're global, Carl. We're global.
We're going all over the shop.
We are.
Everyone.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. At least we ain't got to do the travelling. Everyone's been mentioning. I can see a load of comments mentioning about the Farley Castle, obviously the Vets MX Nation thing and all that.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? And
I've been asked a few times about it. And a couple of times I did get quite serious about it. My main thing is people are going to hate me for this, but I don't like the track.
Okay.
I've never liked Farley Castle. I'm sorry, it's just not my thing. But
yeah, fair enough.
So like I say, people are going to hate me for that. But I know it's a fun thing and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it looks fun, but it didn't look fun for Sordy when he ended up in the trees. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what worries me a little bit. I just see a rider of Sordy's level, and he went in the trees like a missile.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah, I'm not saying.
I think his throttle got stuck there. To be fair, I think.
Yeah. It did. Once I see it, I had to sort of get hold of him and find out exactly what happened. That ain't right. That ain't right.
Yeah, that didn't look funny. Yeah, that would put anyone off. I think doing that. Jesus.
Yeah.
So I think it was at the step upwards. I think, wasn't it? Just after that or something.
Just after that, yeah.
Yeah,
luckily,
just after
that guy had a helmet cam on, and he caught the whole lot. I mean, it was awesome.
Crazy, man.
Not for Steve, but
for Steve, but yeah, good watch for us. It's brilliant. Cheers, Sordy. Right. Someone's put Carl's race against Tommy at Hawkstone last round of the Maxis was something else.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good race. So because of that race at Matcham's where I crashed on the start, Tommy basically had a pretty big lead in the championship. And Tommy was the young, he was Tommy Gun then. He was the up and coming dude, he was ripping and he just had it all going on. And I don't know, I went into that round with 5 points difference between me and him. Tommy leading the championship, and obviously I'd won the championship the year before, and that year I'd won it with a round to go. Yeah, just through consistency, I podiumed every single moto that year and won it with a round to go. And then obviously the mishap at Matcham's really put me on a bit of an uphill struggle really from that point. Yeah, and I knew that the only way to win the championship was to win the races, because Tommy was not. If somebody else won the race and I finished second, Tommy's going to finish third. There's only going to be a 2-point difference in each race. Yeah. So, and I knew that, Tommy would know that as well. And I had it in my mind, right, I'm going here. I mean, I didn't train that week. I didn't ride that week. I didn't speak to anyone on the phone that week. It was just like, I need to get my mind away from this, because everyone was asking the question, you get that question, you're going to win the championship. I don't know, do I? I don't know. I'm just going to go out there and race and do my best. Yeah. So I knew I avoided everything like that. Even when we got there, I parked somewhere away where nobody kind of knew where I was, so I wasn't getting everyone coming around and asking the same question over and over and over. Yeah. Walked the track on my own and just kept myself to myself. Got out in the first race and I got out front. I don't know if Tommy was in the lead or I was in the lead. I can't remember. But I know that once I did get in the lead, Tommy sat on me for like 15, 20 minutes, and I was thinking, man, he wants this, and I was like, just go away, I just kind of I want this race to be easy, kind of thing. But he wasn't going to give up, and I just kept going and going and going, and then eventually I broke him in that first race, and I pulled away towards the end, not massively, but enough where I could be comfortable. But then it's still not over, is it? You've got another race to go. So now Tommy's there, and he's going to be getting all excited, and he's going to want to come out in the next one and not let that happen again. Yeah. And it was the same thing again. I think I got out front and Tommy was there again, right on me. And I was like, oh man, this is going to be another long, 30 plus 2, going to be another long race. Yeah. And I think in the second one, he possibly tired a little bit earlier, but he did give it everything. And it was, but so did I. And, it was kind of, I wanted to defend that championship, and obviously coming in, being 5 points down in the last round, and then coming out 1 point up at the end made it better than winning the year before. And obviously defending the championship. And the way Tommy was riding that year was great. Yeah. And also the fact that Tommy was having my ride the following year.
Yeah. So that was a very sweet thing then, obviously.
Yeah. Oh well, I just remember, like, you know, it was what it was. It was, you know, racing is racing at the end of the day, and
yeah, of course it is.
we're all out there to do our thing. But you know, I won the championship, and then obviously Tommy was already signed with Red Bull anyway. Well, KTM for the next year, and then KTM got him to the dirt bike show, you know, as their rider and stuff. But I was the one that won the championship. But you know, it was all right. It's just how it is. Like I say, but the thing with my ride with KTM is that KTM UK sort of took me on because I'd got in that situation with Honda a couple of years before, where the team dispersed in December or something, and then KTM UK came up with a plan, and then luckily I got the 125 from KTM to it was the full factory. I mean, that thing was incredible. I can't honestly, it's just unreal. I only rode it once though, like raced it once. I think it at Canada Heights at the first round, and then both the Rattray and Deruva at the time both got injured, and they said, "Do you want to ride the 250?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, you know, let's get on that." So, and this was all sorted through KTM UK, but riding under, because originally I was meant to stay on the 2-stroke as sort of like their support rider kind of thing, because it was December and I had no ride. And then obviously that was that year, and because I, you know, like I say, I had to basically plead with them at the end of that year, like 2005. You know, I finished 8th in the world, I think, but 8th nothing, you know, like to KTM, you know, they were just, you know, and but luckily they gave me another chance, and then the next year I finished 6th, but it's not 6th is still not good enough, you know. So I expected that, and then KTM UK couldn't afford to run me, you know, doing GPs and stuff like that. So it had to be on a European-based team. But then, you know, I ended up back with Steve for another year anyway, so it was okay. It was good.
Was that okay back when you went back there then? Yeah,
with Steve. I mean, obviously we're back with Rinaldi again. Done a lot of testing and stuff. I think I was the only rider done the testing at the time, so it was kind of daunting a little bit, because you kind of like, you go to these test tracks in Italy which are rough and gnarly, and then, you know, can often be freezing cold, wet, especially that time of year when we're over there. And you just hope that you've made the right decision, because then you don't see that they go away and or at the time they went away and done the preparation for the bike for what parts that you've chosen, and then you get to see that bike about, I don't know, 2 weeks before the first GP. So but I mean, I was plagued with injury that year. Stupid stuff. I wrung my ankle over running and tore the ligament off my bone. Stuff like that. And I was having to ride this sort of half cast thing on my ankle inside my boot, and it was
niggly stuff.
Oh, and the first race, Hawkstone International, that was when I bruised my coccyx. I just got a tabletop wrong, the one after the downhill. I don't know what happened as I hit the takeoff. The bike just went basically upside down. I got cross-righted. It was raining, like I couldn't even see, so I guess I got cross-righted. And I just obviously went to land on my feet on the downslope, but feet are going to slide away because it's wet. So then went straight under my butt, and then bruised my coccyx laying there, and then I had the whole thing of the neck board, spinal board, and all those sort of things. And I'm saying, like, everything's fine. It's just my arse, basically. Anyway, I had to lay, and obviously all the weight is on what I've hurt, laying on this spinal board for about 4 hours until they scanned it and stuff. And then the pain, I had to do the first British Championship the week after Canada Heights. I had literally had to stand up the whole race. It was just a joke. And they cut the middle of the seat away like a donut. in the middle of the seat. So like where I sat, there was no pressure on my coccyx. We done everything. We tried everything, every physio possible for this, that, and the other. And eventually, it was acupuncture that sorted it out, which I never believed in. But it when I say sorted it out, it took the fluid away that had built up. But even to this day, now sitting on an aeroplane, just that position that you're in, I can feel it. That is in my coccyx. But it's a bone bruise. I mean, I don't know what to do, but. it is painful at times. But yeah, so that year with Steve was a nightmare, really, just through injuries.
Yeah, not good then.
No.
Got Yak Brown has put, can you remember the night out after the Japanese GP in 2007?
I can. I'm sure Michael Jackson was there or someone like that. But no, there was. Yeah, I do. It was quite a fun night. I mean, I missed most of some of the stuff that happened afterwards. We had in fact, I don't think we did have a hotel room that night. We did have a hotel room, yeah. But I know we had a really early flight the next morning, but I do remember that night out, and we was the only people in this bar, just these British people, and they hadn't really seen sort of, I don't know, sort of motocross riders having a laugh, I guess. Just being rowdy was, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do think we got thrown out, to be fair.
Rightly so, by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Sounds fun though. Travis Steels has put, did you enjoy running your own team in 2015?
Yeah, well, it was kind of, Travis was one of the riders, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried. You know, I had a good relationship with KTM at the time, and KTM UK, I was using their bikes for the training schools and also racing local stuff. And I tried to do a Team Green type of deal, start the ball rolling with KTM to help the young kids, you know, coming through. I don't know if we done 1 or 2 years. I think we did sort of 1 year a bit more serious, but the next year was going to be better. Yeah. And because it's just so difficult to get any help. Obviously, people know that. And I really did try. We the riders as well. I was working with them, so it was all about. It wasn't just about like picking, you know, the best riders out there. What we did is we picked the best, well, not the best riders, the riders off of the academy, and then tried to move them forward as much as possible. And they were on 85s. I think all of them on 85s. So 2 small wheel, 2 big wheel, I think. Yeah. And it was good. You know, I went to all the BYN races and tried to get these guys up there, and we did have a good thing going with KTM UK. And then through whatever reasons, the end of the year, KTM UK changed personnel or MD or whatever in the UK, and then it all just, that was it, gone. And
was it
not that we'd built up this massive thing or anything, but then we was we'd got to the point where the guy I was working with at KTM had sort of said, yeah, next year we're going to give you more help, more support. And I was saying, this is exactly as I wanted it to be, just to grow gradually and try and progress through and become something. It would never be like Team Green was back in the day, but something along those lines. Yeah, I'm with you, but it weren't to be, unfortunately. But Travis was one of our guys. He's come a long way since he started with me on a 65.
He's doing well then.
Yeah, he's a good little lad. Well, I won't say little anymore.
Yeah, he's a bit older. He's definitely not on the 85 anymore.
No.
Jamie Thomas has put, I remember you doing some Tony Salis training days with Carl back in the 90s. I found him a great trainer, but how did Carl feel what he taught help him in the racing and moving into the GPs?
Yeah, this is one of the guys that helped me with the hard pack side of it and the grassy type races that I was not doing too well on. And his techniques were good, and it's what I teach now with my riders, and they'll know all about it. It's just body positioning, moving your body around. A strange guy, Tony, but he lived in his van and he just lived for the sport. But he knew what he was talking about, and especially on those, like I say, those tracks. Turn on nothing is all he used to say. Turn on nothing, So obviously, don't use the berm, don't use the rut. Turn on nothing, and it worked. It did work, and it, something that's pretty much normal now. And at that, high levels of riding, and most guys, some guys have it naturally. It's just on those conditions, I didn't. I was a sand rider, you know, brought up riding Chippenham.
Yeah.
And for me, if there weren't a berm there at that age, I wasn't happy. But
Yeah.
that he made me realise you don't need a berm.
Yeah.
So,
Ride that different technique.
yeah.
Got Dan Merrifield. He's put, Carl, I'd be willing to send you my motocross helmet to do a paint job of your choice for the right price. Wink.
Yeah, well, just contact me, just message me or something. I've got to be honest, I've got a couple of helmets that people are waiting for, which I've got to start painting.
You've got a stack already.
It's a confidence thing, you know. It's a confidence thing, and these cars that I paint, you know, they're like £25 to start.
Yeah.
The shell is £25 or £20.
Okay.
A helmet's £400 or £500. You know? You don't want to mess that up, but
No.
not, you know. When I do something, I want to do it right, and I've got plenty to practice on. And like I say, I've got a couple in at the minute which I've really got to get done. So, but yeah, if you're serious, then just contact me, and we'll sort something out.
Actually, that's interesting because I never got to get a sprayed helmet. I always used to get these replicas. I had like a Puzar BFE replica, the yellow one, if you ever remember that one. And I've got a Jeremy McGrath bow one, the replica with the bubbles and that.
Yeah, the green one.
Yeah, it's like yellow and a bit of green on it.
Yeah.
It's obviously got Showtime and that on the back.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, a mate borrowed it and he broke the peak on it. So obviously the original peak was broken. Somehow or another, through the group and everything, managed to get a brand new one of the original peak. So I've got that back on it. But
this is the old McGrath replica you're talking about?
Old McGrath.
Sorry.
Real old school. I'm talking like 97, 98.
Yeah.
When he was probably on the Yam at the time, I think. But yeah, I'd love to get a spray job actually. So yeah, that could be interesting. Pressure's on now.
Oh yeah, I know.
There'll be no pressure. I just want a spray job.
No, the thing is, I've got so many helmets. Yeah. I've kept all my custom helmet paint, all the custom paint jobs that I've had done through Jason at JLF or Tom Image Custom Design, and some of the other guys that I've got helmets done by. I mean, and I can just look at those and kind of get inspired by that. Really, you know, I'd love to reach a level, a good level, but I'm never going to get up to those guys' level. They've been doing it years, you know, and but it's so cool to see, and still even now they're pushing the boundaries on what they do, and I just love to see it. Really, it's, you know, so difficult to come up with something that's original now. But yeah, it's just something that right from an early age when I was a kid, just loved looking at the custom helmets and stuff. And I always had one in that picture in the background.
Yeah, you have one there, yeah.
I can't remember who done that one.
It's an Alroy, isn't it?
Yeah, that might be Miles Carter or someone like that. I don't know.
I remember that was quite distinctive at the time as well when you had that done.
Yeah, that had all eyeballs and stuff on it. And I don't know how that got designed, but I'm sure I've still got that one as well. But maybe not here. My dad might have that one. Yeah, I've seen it about. I'm sure I have.
That'd be cool to see. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's asked, have you kept any of your custom helmets and stuff? I was surely sure.
Yeah, I've got all my nation's helmets.
They're very cool.
Then pretty much every helmet from the 98, 99, which were the Bell helmets which Jason painted, apart from one which Bell took to do a replica. So Jason done this big star on the side, and it was quite cool. It wasn't a real, I wouldn't say real drastic paint job, but this star was like reflective. And anyway, I don't know, for some reason or another, they couldn't replicate it how it was, so it never happened. But I never got the helmet back. But it's, you know, they gave me the helmet in the first place, so that's the only one that I haven't got. And when I do see photos, I think you put one up the other day, and that helmet, it would have been from Ling or somewhere like that. Whatever it is with a big star on each side. It was almost like a Cowboys type star.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, that's the only one I haven't got.
Wonder where that is.
Well, it went to Bell, so yeah. Don't know. Someone's probably using it as a footstool now or something somewhere.
Hope not.
I don't know.
Right, so someone's put Alan Douglas, but who was the fastest schoolboy rider he's seen or raced against as a kid? Besides yourself.
Yeah, no, well, so like I say, there was a couple. I mean, in the 85s or 80s and hundreds was like Roy Wells, Chris Cownley, definitely on the 80s, and then the big wheels, same guys, and then but there was the Jamie Breeden, Greg Mills, Radford,
yeah,
Ryan Bowes, Mark Hucklebridge.
Stacked.
Yeah, if I've missed anyone, I'm sorry. I might.
They'll be messaging me in a minute.
I'm not being disrespectful, but there was a good there was a good group of guys.
Yeah, very, yeah.
And, yeah, we raced hard on those hundreds. You know, because I came up early, so a lot of those guys had been on the hundreds for a year, and they didn't want me. They didn't want me hounding them. So I had to ride like hell. Definitely that first year I got onto 100. Definitely. Yeah.
Some good old times they were.
Yeah.
What's he got? Baz Barley's put, would you do Eastern Centre again? You were unbeaten for 3 years, I think. I remember watching you flat out on bend, one-handed, going up Cadder's Hill, pull your roll off, awesome rider.
Yeah, it was 4 years. Yeah, what it was when I finished, I finished professionally. I just had enough of it all, and the financially it wasn't viable no more. But I wasn't done racing, so and we are very fortunate in East Anglia with some of the tracks that we have. It's just we've got some of the best tracks, and obviously a lot of them were British Championship tracks and still are. We do have some horrendous ones also, though, but you know we won't go into that. But but you know they're historic. I'd say
yeah.
Historic.
Okay. Historic.
And you had to do it if you're doing the championship. But when I won the championship the first year, because like I said, I just wanted to race for fun, and it was fun, and I really enjoyed it. And I was just on a KTM, straight out of KTM, just the suspension done. That was it. I think it was a 350 the first year I was on, and then I got the trophy, and then I was just looking through the trophy. My dad was on the trophy, which was pretty cool. And all those guys on the Eastern Centre side, and you know some pretty good names on there. And I looked at who'd won it the most times, and I thought, no, that ain't going to happen, because like I think it was Aston Bird. He'd won it like 85 times. Or something.
Yeah, I remember racing him as well. I remember racing him.
Too high to even think about. You know, I wasn't racing for that long. So so what was the next thing? The next thing for me was just like, okay, who's won it the most times in a row? And I think that was Aston Bird as well, like 3 times in a row. So then that became the plan. It was a 4-year plan. But obviously, if I lost it on year 2 or year 3, I wasn't going to restart it, you know. You know, so the last year, the 4th year that I did it, it was starting to get, you know, it was hard. The 3rd year and the 4th year was starting to get hard. Those guys didn't want me to win, you know. And I wasn't riding enough. I wasn't training enough because I was working, you know, doing training schools and stuff like that. And I literally would practice 5 times over a whole year for 5 days or maybe 4 days. That would be the amount of days I'd actually go to a track and practice. Some days I'd just ride with the people I was training. That was it. So I wasn't practicing enough, wasn't riding. The first couple of years I could get away with it. And then it started to get harder. And and then by the end of that 4th one, I was happy that it was done and it was secured. So, but yeah, like I say, we do have some good tracks in the region. And it was a good centre as well, and it still is. You know, it's good competition, and a good. They get a good. I'm sure they still get a pretty good entry as well. So good numbers. Yeah.
So for the record, it was 4, not 3, as quoted.
Yeah, it was.
Gotta get that right. So, someone's put, how big was that triple at the Cardiff Supercross in 2004?
That was massive. Yeah, I don't know how big it was, but I know that. I mean, I think Alessi won, but he was practicing like the night before when I got there with his brother.
Was he? Was he?
Yeah.
Jeff. Well, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, no one's allowed to practice, but there was definitely some Alessis going around there, and So, like the first lap of practice, he's just popped this triple out, and there was like a little whoop before it or something.
Yeah.
And I was on that KTM, that 125, and that was the first time I'd rode it, first time I'd seen it. And Harry Nolte and my mechanic Serge turned up, and I'm like, and I went out on it, and I was like, man, this thing rips. And I hit that triple. I did it once because I don't think that many people in the small bikes did it, other than Alessi every lap. But yeah. Which
You've been there for a week.
Yeah. And then it was like, no, make it a bit bigger, a bit bigger, a bit bigger. Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah.
But I remember I did it, and I either only just did it or some, I don't know. But I was like, do you know what? That if that goes wrong, that ain't going to end well. So that was it. I was happy I did it once, and I think I finished second that night to Alessi, and yeah, I think still I won the championship, I believe. That year.
I was going to say you won 3 British Supercross ones, didn't you?
Yeah, the first one was like the old Reading Supercrosses. Do you remember them?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I went to practice there once. Yeah, by the Speedway track, wasn't it?
Yeah, the old Wednesday night races, and they built this Supercross track, and it was there, and then all of a sudden it became an ACU British Championship, and I was like, right, well, yeah, let's go and do that, and that was the first one. Although it's not really recognised, I don't think, remembered, should I say?
Yeah.
But I remember going to a couple of before that, possibly the year before and stuff, and just going because it was a Wednesday night race and get some prize money or something. And then there was that year it was the 04, because I started it on my dad. I had no bike, and I committed to the championship, and because obviously that Honda team had folded, so my dad bought a Honda 250F. We went out just that and some stock suspension, Southside graphics on it, who helped me in the Eastern Centre and stuff the last 4 years. And I called my old mechanic from Husqvarna, who is actually Valentino Rossi's suspension guy now.
Oh, right, cool.
Mark, and he came out to Ireland with me for the first one, and then we did a couple of rounds on the 250F Honda, and then once my deal started with KTM, then I finished it off on a 125. So, and then wrapped that one up, and then the next one was, I don't know, because it was always over the winter, so it was like was it 08, 09 or 07, 08 or something. No, 08, 09 I think was the last one. So
did you do? Because I remember going to Exeter Supercross. I'm sure there was one at Exeter. I went and watched. I actually watched that night.
I did a few there. Yeah, the old drive to Exeter. I mean, not for you, but
no, it was too bad. Yeah, a couple of hours.
No, Exeter was good. It was cool. It was sort of like the beginning of the British.
Yeah, I remember.
That was cool. There was some good tracks there. The old whoops were gnarly there. I remember that.
Yeah, I was just about to say that was right by where we all sat, where the whoops, I think.
Yeah,
where the stand bit was.
Whoops, the whole length. Yeah.
There's some proper incidents going on there.
We'd all go there thinking that we were Supercross heroes because motocross. We've got no Supercross tracks or whoops to practice on anywhere, and just headbutt the bars every 3 laps. Do you know what I mean? Just and come back with like no peak and stuff because you just headbutt the bars. It was all right because the prize money was good, so it was
there was a good upside then.
Well, that's it. It attracted the riders because they got decent prize money. So
that was good then.
Yeah.
Did you ever, during your career, even when you were younger, did you ever have a sort of any dreams of going over into America or anything like that? Because obviously we knew you were good at jumps and quick.
I didn't really ever think of it seriously. I obviously did think about it. I mean, I realised how tough American Supercross is. And in order to get a proper ride in America, you need to be, moving into the Supercross side of it, which is never quick. I think Porcel was pretty quick at it, but a lot of the other guys got injured. For definitely the first year or two. I mean, Albertine, he was amazing because he had the biggest crashes I've ever seen in my life, and he was still on the line the next week.
He's like a beast, isn't he? Beast.
Yeah. I mean, Pichon, obviously, he went over there and done.
Yeah, he did well. Yeah,
he kicked ass over there, and Vilman as well. Porcel, and Bale before that, but there's been a few guys do it, but they're all the French guys have always been Supercross orientated as well. They've got a very good scene in France. But I've done two nationals, two US nationals, just on like one-offs. One was with Dixon, which would have been 99. We went over and done Steel City. It was the last round. I think the GPs had finished or whatever. And I remember Chiodi did that one as well.
Do you enjoy that?
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah. I mean, we just flew over there with an engine, put our engine in. We rode at a Yamaha Troy at the time. I just borrowed their chassis, basically. Probably had our suspension as well. But we had real major bike problems. I got terrible starts. I think I had a 6th and an 8th or something. But both times I was coming from outside the top 20. I got 6th overall, I believe, which was all right. But I
wasn't too bad then, yeah.
No, it was all right. I mean, I knew, I beat Chiodi,
Take that.
which I've been racing with all year and could only make never probably. But I remember that. And then we went back again to Steel City with MVRD. Just by chance, it was Steel City again. I was on the 450 then, and a little bit out of my depth, to be honest. I think I was inside the top 20. I don't know. But yeah, just fun. It's just nice to go over there and, and do that. But like I say, the whole Supercross side of things is a big commitment. When you talk about British Supercross, you're not talking about AMA Supercross. It's not. You're not even on the same page.
No, yeah, it's a major difference. Oh, I've had Mr. James Dobb come on.
Yeah.
I told you to get behind on the questions. This was about 8:15 when he sent this. Look, he's put, does he like Fox Hills? He's basically taking the piss because he knows that Fox Hill I love, and he don't like Fox Hill, even though he won a GP there. But I think you do like Fox Hill, don't you, Carl?
I do like Fox Hill, yeah.
Yeah, all the best riders do, Carl.
Well, no, I mean,
No, I do.
Yeah, Jamie, when that race, when Jamie won, and I think I was second, when they stopped the race because apparently the boards had fallen on the track or something. In that was 2000.
Very wet, isn't it?
I DNF'd the first moto. The bike, there was a problem with the bike, I think. I just stone caught in the clutch or something, and it wouldn't work. But second race, it was raining. Dobber had the goggles off. The goggles were off. And, I don't know. One of the boards fell down. Is that right? Can you remember? One of the big,
that was like fencing or something, was it? Oh, right, was it? Oh, yeah.
Into the track, so they red flagged it.
Just red flagged it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I was there. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I do like it, but I mean, I've had some shockers there as well, but I think everyone's had that as well. I just dabbed my foot there once and broke my toe. Just the ground was so hard. That was on that hill, actually, what we were talking about earlier, where I had the inside line.
Yeah.
Front went.
Was it? Is that where you did it?
Broke my toe, yeah.
You had a nice line at the inside of there.
Yeah, not that day, but but no, yeah, I do like that place.
Yeah, and I obviously told Jamie that obviously Stefan Everts liked it as well. So obviously,
yeah, well, Stefan could ride anything, can't he?
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but he did have a bit of a run there. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, his Nations thing was pretty epic, wasn't it?
While he's on here as well, why did Jamie used to keep running into you? Didn't he? Is that right?
We had some incidents. Yeah. I know. I asked the question the other night, and we had an incident at Fox Hills. Actually, I was quite young. I remember I don't know. He went for a move, and we both went down, and we had a little bit of a tussle on the track. Nothing drastic, just a little bit of a moment.
Okay.
Yeah, but there was quite a few moments, more so than what he mentioned, I think. Well,
I'm sure there were.
I remember more. Maybe he was just riding and not noticing, but
When your granddad was his favourite fan, wasn't he, or something?
Yeah, JN used to give him the signals. Yeah, what position he was in, like he said.
Yeah.
But
first, second.
Yeah, Jamie told me that. It was quite funny, and then because obviously my granddad weren't going to tell me that, and because I think he said tell your granddad to stop waving at me or something, and I was like, well, what's he doing? And he said, showed me these signs. I was like, yeah, okay. But no, Jamie was he was just aggressive. He was come back from America. He had the whole American attitude going on.
True, yeah.
And then he just liked a block pass or two.
Or 10.
Yeah, no, it weren't that bad, but it was there was just a few incidents, that was all.
I found that. Where was he heading there? Look,
I think he just at that point it just T-boned me, it knocked me out the line. No, that's no that.
Where was that?
That's
Is that
Waits Cone, isn't it?
Waits Cone, yeah, it looks like it.
Waits
A little
Cone.
bit.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
You wouldn't normally be right out there, so there's got to be a reason.
Yeah, possibly Jamie missed the brakes or something. You know, I would have been in the line.
That's brilliant.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Absolute filth when he come back from America, basically.
No, he was all right. It was funny.
Yeah,
I was
all right.
I was at the Nations in Jerez.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was just there watching, and when Jamie first come back from America.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was a good experience just to be there. And that massive triple down the hill there, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was
see the pictures of it. It looks huge.
Oh, there was bikes snapping in half. It was just crazy.
I think there's a picture of Emig you can see, and it looks fucking Jesus.
Emig on that 500 doing it, like wow. And then Lampson on a 125 was heel clicking it, and
yeah,
like Torrentires was in the Spanish team, and he was just like seat grabbing off it and stuff.
Crazy, crazy. Good job Travis went there. He'd have probably been flipping it down there as well.
Yeah, oh man, it was huge. Honestly, it was huge.
Yeah, it looked massive.
Yeah.
Fancy that. John Nichols put, ask Nunny about his race with Carioli at Redbird and how did he get on?
Yeah, well, not very well. I had a good weekend watching the boys racing. Wet weekend, cold weekend, hot weekend. It was everything in one day. But we was drinking mostly, so drinking beers, and then we just ended up in this like little. We couldn't find anywhere to go out, and everywhere was closed in the evening to drink, bars and stuff. And somebody said, or the hotel said, go to this place, they'll sell alcohol. There was quite a few of this British crew that wanted to go, obviously, and have some beers after the race. So we was in there, and it's like a bit of a restaurant type thing as well. But it was like one of these, there's nobody in there. We got in there, 2 people or something, so nothing was happening. And then all of a sudden, there's this guy in there, and he's like telling me that the Italian team's coming and this and that, and everyone was like, "No, they're not. They're not." Anyway, they did. Caroli turned up, and Lupino, and a load of other guys with them. And Travisini was there, I think, Ravaglia, and some of the guys I used to race with. I don't know. I just said to Caroli, I was like, let's have a race with a beer. And he hadn't even started drinking, he wasn't even going to drink or whatever, or wasn't drinking. And he's like, no. And I'm just so like, I can down that. Do you know what I mean? I'm basically thinking I'm going to pour it on myself anyway. But it never happened. And he managed to beat me. But yeah, I was a bit gutted, really. I just let the team down. Out of all my nations and stuff, that was the worst. I thought I would have had the advantage, but
I was going to say, I thought you had that down.
He was possibly more dehydrated than I was at that point, so he needed that quicker than I did. Yeah,
it was this first one.
Yeah.
Brad Nixon put, can you remember sitting in the waiting zone at Desert Martin singing about Dugan's Mogstar kit?
No, but I can imagine what it's about. No, I can't remember it, but yeah, I can imagine doing it though. Yeah.
Obviously, I've got someone asking about your relationship with working with Graham Noyce. What was that actually like? Did you enjoy that? Was it a bit of a...
Yeah, I did. Like, Graham was cool. Graham's proper old school. And yeah, like I say, his lines and stuff he would just have different opinions than what I was kind of used to, and he wouldn't be afraid to like go, look, why not go there? Why not go there? I thought, well, no one's been there, but like doesn't mean you don't go there. Just things like that, and confidence wise, he was good with that. He was, he's a good guy. He liked to have a beer in the evenings, but he'd always be there in the morning, and he'd be rocking and rolling. I remember when he went to we must have had Namur that year. I think, because I remember him being at Namur somewhere, and we couldn't even go anywhere without people stopping him. You know, I'm like, I just want to go and look at the track, and he's like, stopping,
sign this, Nicey.
People everywhere.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, Graham Noyce.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What about Colin Nunn? Yeah, I went and did a live interview in his living room. That was interesting.
What, in Noyce's living room?
Yeah.
Sorry. Did you?
Yeah, literally. With my phone, just
right.
pointing the phone at him. It was quite interesting. I'll have to send it to you.
Good.
I'll have to send it to you. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Ben Piggin put, can you remember, Carl, when the International was at Milden Hall and Gunderson was doing the whoops in 2? Did you ever do that?
I do remember Gunderson coming over, and I was watching that weekend because I wasn't in the youth. And yeah, he was rapid, you know, Gunderson. I knew he was quick anyway before he came. I'd heard of him before that. And I believe it was Aston Bird again. He went there to go and to beat Gunderson. And he was gutted because I think Gunderson beat him. But yeah, I think it was. I'm going to get in so much trouble if I'm getting these people wrong. But yeah, I would have. I guess I would have done. Yeah, the track's changed a lot over time. I mean, if there was something doable, people were on it straight away. Yeah. I would have thought so. Yeah.
Okay, Tim's come up on YouTube saying, Carl, are you up for an Ibiza reunion?
My God, that was a long time ago. I hadn't heard from Tim for a long time. So sure he works in Formula One or something.
Does he?
Yeah, I think so. I think he delivers a toilet paper or something.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. That was was I injured? I don't know. We went to Ibiza anyway. That was a bit of an eye opener. Yeah, I was only young.
Yeah, I bet.
I think I was just 18 or something. But yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty.
Did
good.
Did you get led astray?
No. I've never seen nothing like that. I mean, who goes out at 12 o'clock at night? That's when you go out. I mean, it's
bloody hell.
You don't go in.
I'll be finished by then.
That's ridiculous. I was knackered when we got in there. I wanted to come home again.
Yeah, that was a bit too late. Someone else has put another reminisce. Ash Manton's put, I remember when Nunny and Barfoot, that's John Barfoot, I gather, got banned from Crick for paintballing. Classic antics.
I did. I don't think Barfoot did.
Oh, he got away with it.
I don't think Barfoot was involved. Sorry, I need to just get my phone charging.
Yeah, we've killed that battery of yours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but it's better than the laptop. Sorry about this. Hang on a second.
No worries.
Sorry. Right, we good? Yeah.
It's all good.
I don't believe it was Barfoot.
Okay.
Pretty sure of that.
Do you remember who it was? Was it just you?
No, it wasn't just me. There was 3 or 4 of us.
Okay.
There was me, 3 or 4. But I'm sure I was the only one that got banned, and that lost me the championship that year because I got no points in that round. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I shouldn't have been doing it, should I? But I was only a kid. I was just messing about. But me and my dad spoke about this earlier as well. So yeah, I don't know, whatever, politics or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, you know, the other guys, as far as I was concerned, didn't get banned from the race that was with me. Just me.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but who knows? Who cares? Is what it is.
Yeah. No name on this. I remember being on a Stuart Nunn training day at Milden Hall on my 60. Cole was riding on his Cat Honda, jumping the jumps, which seemed massive. He was my favourite from then on till he beat me at Hawkstone by 1 point, but we got no name on that.
Oh, I don't know who that'd be. I don't know. Riding number 101.
Oh, yeah, of course, the 1 point. That makes sense. Trust Tommy Searle not to register himself yet on here.
It can't be him, but I know my dad did do some stuff with Tommy. My dad actually, you know, always rated Tommy right from that age, actually.
Yeah.
At the time, I was racing, and possibly I did some training days and stuff. I'd do some demo stuff with my dad. But Dad was always said about Tommy right from an early age. He said Tommy was crazy. He was just like, you know, I think I don't know, he was on a 65 year or something, and went out and broke his nose or something, and because it must have been only, you know, 9 or 10 years old, and then just completed the day riding with his broken nose. Didn't even go to hospital or something like that. But
so he's mad for it, mad for it from
the
the
off.
off.
Just Dad, he's often said about that, like, you know, the way he rode, right? He was just had no fear, basically. But I think Tommy was, from that age, was pretty damn quick.
You seen that come up? Cole Grantham's put, he's still got my helmet to paint from 3 years ago.
Yeah, no, no, that one that he gave me, that's a flower pot outside at the moment. I might have to get it in and start painting it soon. I'll gingerly get that one in.
That's brilliant. Tom Fish has put, I still have one of Cole's helmets somewhere. He gave it to me as Red Fox helmet, as I was a great fan when I was growing up. Tom Fish.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't, mate. Yeah, maybe. I've got quite a few Fox helmets. Yeah, but yeah, I can't remember everything. I was always a person. Nice. If I could give it away, I would give it away. You know, a lot of stuff we weren't allowed to give away.
Yeah.
But you know, most of the time it was shirts. Everyone wanted shirts, obviously. Like every rider's giving their shirts away, goggles as well. Helmets is quite rare. I've got to be honest, but maybe he caught me on a good day.
You must have, fair play. I was going to say that was a peach of one. That was Fox helmet. Yeah. Nice. All right, I've got Vin has put, hi mate, do you watch the MXGPs now? And do you think the tracks are getting too dangerous with all the big jumps? Do you think the racing would be better if they were a bit less supercrossy?
It's a tough one again. I mean, I do believe that the racing would be a little bit better with less jumps. I mean, the big jumps, you don't have to necessarily not have big jumps, but just less of them. Some are sketchy, some are dangerous. I mean, there's been a massive injury list this year, it seems. Whether it's different to any other year, I don't know. I do try and watch the GPs as much as possible, but I mean, it's got back to the stage now of, especially on like Eurosport and stuff, where you know, you'll catch one moto over the weekend because something else is on, and then they'll just miss all the rest out. Or they'll miss half the race out for adverts, you know. But you know, I'm trying to watch it as best I can, and some of the jumps are a little bit, what's the point? You know, that last round, I have rode that track before it was how it is now. Trees everywhere and stuff. That was with Dixon in 2007. I was practicing there during the week, and all these single jumps and stuff, what are just stopping everyone's momentum. It's just, I don't know. What is the point? Like, why do you have 3 spine jumps in a row or whatever it is? You know, one straight. But you know, I know things move on and stuff like that. But that was a decent track for me because it had some tight sections in it. I mean, most of these tracks now, you know, you don't need 3rd gear. It's just 4th and 5th. But you know,
flat out.
It seems anyway. It's not. But it seems. But you know, I know that a lot of riders that have stopped with the GPs recently are kind of along those lines, and not, the tracks are, although they might look fun, they're not as enjoyable to race as people think. I mean, I was there obviously the beginning of all of this with or the way the tracks are now. You know, the Isle of Wight, I know I listened to Ben the other night, and I'm the same as him. The Isle of Wight track was just awesome. You know, it was just flowing. But it was natural. It was on a hill, and it was good. The soil as well makes a big difference. You know, and then Matterley Basin. I'm not so set on Matterley. Got to be honest. I never was. I don't mind it. But you know, there's nothing wrong with it. But a lot of jumps again. But like I say, most of these tracks are like that now. But you know, there has been some good racing this year. I've got to be honest.
There was.
Been some good battles, but you know, it's very rare now that you get anything natural. When I don't mean natural like when my dad was racing, you know, mud holes and you know, that kind of stuff. And
yeah.
But you know, I'm just saying, like, a natural area to start
Cambers and stuff like that.
Yeah, that kind of thing. You know, everything's kind of created and moved, you
Mm.
know, in a lorry to the next track.
Yeah.
It seems, but you know, that's just my opinion. I'm not there, so I can't say 100%. But yeah, I'm going a bit off it now. But yeah, I think
Any of the guys you enjoy watching, like now? Is any of the top guys that you actually enjoy watching, excite you watching? Or
yeah, I mean, Prado's just, you know, he's amazing. Vial just been brilliant all year. You know, he proper outfoxed Geertz, it seems. And, you know, to do that already in really his second full, I think it's his second full season in MX2.
Yeah.
You know, is pretty cool. There's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of good ones out there. I mean, I like to watch Siwa because he's a little bit on the ragged edge sometimes. Obviously, Geyser is cool to watch as well because he's Mr. Rubber Man, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, he hits the floor, bounces, and lands on his feet, and he almost lands back on the bike again. It's like, wow. But it's amazing, really. It just, you know, it proves that he's fit and strong, and he's, you know, I guess youth is on his side as well with the way he bounces.
Yeah.
But you know, there's some good guys out there.
What about Hurlins? Do you like watching Hurlins?
You know, you can't talk about motocross without talking about Hurlins. I mean, he's just phenomenal, isn't he? I mean, again, massive respect to Cairoli for still going, because that's amazing as well.
Yeah.
The motivational side of it, for me, I don't know how he does it.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a long time, isn't it?
Well, he's still good enough, isn't he? That's the thing.
Yeah.
So he's still winning GPs, which is
it's crazy.
It's brilliant. But yeah, Hurlins, you know, it just is a lot of injuries. Yeah, I don't know, but he's so fast. You know, it's crazy. It's amazing because so many Dutch riders over the years have had this just amazing speed. You know, and it's pretty good.
You mentioned some earlier Strybos and all them guys, and
I mean, you know, like I say,
tractor.
I know tracks are getting less and less over there as well, but it's they always, especially when I was going over there back, you know, a long time ago, there was a lot more tracks around to go practicing on and stuff. You know, you could go riding and not come across anyone else that was a GP rider. Now you'd probably find it difficult to go riding and not, you know, not be on your own, but you know, not have another GP rider there or something. So yeah.
I've got Kevin Wheeler. He's put, this question may have been asked. Carl was the fastest, smoothest rider I ever saw. Such a talent, and someone I believed would be world champion. What does Carl believe stopped this from happening, and does he have any regrets?
I don't have regrets as such. I mean, because I can't change it. So I've always been on that
will be. Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't world champion. No. Right from an early age, it was kind of like talked about all the time, not by us as a family, but by people around us.
I remember.
It was constantly there, and it was there was a lot of pressure. I had to deal with a lot of pressure, you know, and
from an early age.
Yeah, and I never had anything easy. My dad just chucked me in every year, like go up a year early, if I could, you know. I had to get Irish license or MCUI, I think it was, license. To go on to the 125 early, then the Dutch license the following year to race the Dutch Championships. So I couldn't race any races in the adults in this country, and that wasn't because somebody said something about being too good or no competition or something. It wasn't because of that. It was because Alec Wright, you know, it was always like pushing to the next level. Trying to get there as quick as possible, I guess. But I had some tough years. I had some really, really tough years where it was, you know, I wasn't getting anywhere. Oh, I was getting it, you know, but I wasn't up the front. But it was always going to come, if you know what I mean. But not while I was 14 years old racing against Strybos, you know, who'd been world champion. You know,
it's madness,
home country on a track that he probably could go round in reverse and beat me.
Yeah,
you know, but yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why. Like, yeah, there was, like I said, the year when I done the first GP of the year, and I finished second to the first. So I was laying second in the world, and then I went to Italy. The next GP, crashed, the most stupid, slowest crash ever. Landed on my shoulder. Knew something was wrong straight away, and it turned out that the previous year at Sheffield Supercross, in the super final, I'd crashed through the whoops, landed on my shoulder, and then dislocated my shoulder and cracked the socket. And because I'd trained and rode, like, we had a British Championship the week after at Ling, I think, and I won that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then went all winter, obviously without crashing on it, but it never had chance to heal. And then that stupid little crash, landing at the right angle or whatever, I didn't have the strength, or, you know, the joint didn't have the strength. It didn't dislocate, but it cracked it. And then they said, right, you've got two options. You either have an operation, or you just give it a month or 6 weeks or something. But an operation would have been 3 months. So we gave it the shorter option, and I never had a problem with it again. But it had rest, you see. But then from then you're on the back foot again. So that was that year. The following year, when I won the GP, I part dislocated my elbow. So I've never really, you know, done something in full measures. It's all part. It's horrendous. I mean, that was just, I went round again, a really, really slow corner on the start of a race, just washed the front end, fell on one side, put my hand on the ground, and I think it was Scott Sheik, obviously no fault of his own, ran into my arm and pushed it the wrong way because my weight was on my arm, and obviously tried to bend my arm the opposite direction that it wants to bend, which damaged all my elbow. Again, another month off, you know, and things like that. And that was my final year, and then went to the 250s, and, you know, spent 3 years in that class, then come back to MX2 again. So I don't know. I'm not, like I say, I don't regret anything. If there's anything that I do regret, I mean, it's possibly, I did get offered the KTM ride a year before I left Yamaha. So say for 2000 or for 99, I can't remember now. And I didn't take it. I remember talking to Kurt Nickel, because Kurt actually used to live, I used to live in the village where Kurt lived when I was a kid. So we knew, and Dad knew Kurt anyway from Chippenham days and everything like that, and in the racing scene. But Kurt was obviously the KTM guy then. And I don't know. I was happy with Steve. I was happy with the bikes. And at the time, obviously, KTM, this was kind of the beginning of their bikes becoming absolute missiles. But reliability was a bit of an issue. And I didn't feel comfortable with that. Although we did have, you know, our own issues sometimes with the Yamahas. But I know that's possibly the only thing. But, you know,
so Dobby went there then, wasn't it? Dobby was there then, wasn't he? So Dobby must have been there then.
It was
2000.
before Dobby. Dobby won it in 01, didn't he?
Yeah, 01. That's right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, 201. Yeah.
Yeah, it was before that.
So you got offered that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's just one of those things. But like I say, it's pointless regretting anything because you can't change it.
No.
You know, the only other thing would have been, like I said, to spend a little bit more time in Holland and Belgium.
Yeah.
But, you know, I know Jake tried that, and it didn't work for him. So it did for a certain amount of time, and obviously he had a good year, but he couldn't sustain it, you know, being there. I know some guys now, they live there and that's it. They just become, that's where they are. But for me, it wouldn't work for me. It wouldn't work for me.
But obviously, throughout them years and those 125 days, etc., you were certainly showed the speed and was one of the fastest riders in the world for sure.
Yeah, I like to think so. I mean, I just suffered a lot. I mean, the British Championship side of things was like a how to put it. It was it was more relaxing. You go to a British Championship and you just feel like on it straight away, like loose. confident, obviously know the tracks to a certain extent. And then GPs, my mind was in a different place. I was never mentally, obviously it's a massive, massive mental game, motocross, massive. Along with everything else that you have to do, the physical side, and then being a rider that can set the bike up correctly, and and then also having the right team around you and personnel and everything like that, which sometimes is out of your hands. But yeah, everything has to fall into place. And I just think a lot of time I'd go to GPs and I don't know why, but I just didn't believe it as such. Or, like I say, I was always one of them guys that if something wasn't right on the day, as in like part of the track that I didn't like, that would affect me, and I'd get used to things too quick. Like I say, the bike, if the suspension weren't right, I'd know it weren't right, but by the time I've come in, I've got used to it and forgot about it. Or I'd come in and say, it don't feel right, and they're like, why? And so, I don't know. So I really had to learn a lot.
That's side of it.
Because at an early age, it was just Team Green. It was, there's your bike, get on with it. There weren't much
options,
else
as it were.
No. So
and then all of a sudden you're thrown all these options, and
Do you think that's why, obviously, all this day and age, obviously, all these, all sorts of sports have all these mental coaches and all sorts of guys do that? So it's a big thing as well.
Yeah, I think definitely 100%. There's a big, well, I would say now there's a lot more people using, the sort of mental side of things. Coaches, whatever you want, sports psychologists.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that people were back in the day quietly, and that's something that I would have benefited with for sure. I mean, a lot of things have changed now. There's physios going to the races with the riders, all that kind of stuff, and trainers, and I couldn't afford to have done all that back in the day. The budgets weren't there to do that. I mean, to get Noisy to come for that 1 year was a lot of negotiating and stuff like that. But again, Noisy was kind of like he was the closest I was going to get to a psychologist as well as the rider coach. But yeah, it would definitely have benefited, and I'm pretty sure that these teams have got these things in place now. I might be wrong, but I don't know. You always notice the Americans, in particular, as a nation, they're quite confident people. And I mean, in my area here, there's a lot of American people around, and the kids go to school with American kids because of the US bases around here and stuff. And you always notice that, like, sounds stupid, but like the school plays and stuff, the American kids are really confident compared to the, to like the other kids. And as a sport, as in sport in general, the Americans just seem to be confident people and don't really care. And that, they just seem to have natural confidence. And I think that was something, I don't know why, but I just didn't have enough of.
Okay. Someone put, Adam Pryor said that the question about the triple was from Neville Bradshaw. So that was Nev.
Nev was third that day. He was hounding me, I'm sure. He was probably hitting it every lap. I don't know. I can't remember. I know the whoops were pretty big there as well. I remember Max Anstey was on a 85, I think. He just annihilated everyone that day on his 85. Probably would have been on the podium in the MX2 class.
But, have you seen all these young kids now and there? Like, there's Deegan and all that, and obviously, of course, they get a lot of exposure now, don't they? With all these social medias and.
Yeah, I do. Obviously, the Danger Boy, isn't it? Danger Boy.
That's it.
He stepped up to 125. I think. I mean, he's obviously got some talent. There's no doubt about it, and his jumping skills are pretty insane. Hopefully he's got a good future ahead of him. I mean, he looking at Brian, the way he is with him. I'm only going off the videos. I'm not. No, I don't know, but he seems like he's just letting him do his thing, and seems pretty relaxed about it, which is cool. And obviously he knows a lot about the sport from back in the day, and everything like that. But the problem is, obviously, social media is great, but to do something like that at a very early age, like he's got his YouTube channel and stuff like that, I believe, and all of this, you've got to kind of keep that up, and that's got to be it's got to be hard, to live
that age as well. That age.
Yeah, like a reality TV star, nearly.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You've got to give people content, and the sponsors also want that content every week. But yeah, they're almost like the. Sorry, it's a fly buzzing around. The mod. I'm not waving. It's like sometimes watching the Osbournes, isn't it? Remember the Osbournes?
Yeah,
When they first come out?
Funny,
like the Deegans, they're just like, it's quite cool.
Yeah,
his daughter driving them cars. I don't know what she races, but she races in cars and stuff, and then obviously Brian with the short course racing and stuff like that. I don't think he does it now, but they've done quite a lot between them as a family, that's for sure.
Yeah, they have, haven't they? They've gone quite global, haven't they?
Yeah.
What's he put? Yeah. Right. What's he put there? Oh, I don't know about that one. We've already mentioned the Farley thing. We've already done that. People, stop asking me about the Farley. Cole's not going to Farley by the sounds of it, so don't keep asking me that one.
No, I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just, definitely not. I'll tell you now, I'm not going this year.
Yeah.
So,
what about next year, Cole? Right, so Ben Rumbold's put, I got an odd question. Oh, God. Does Cole remember a youth international in '92 at a Dutch track called Overloon?
I do.
I think he won all 4 races, both days in the hundreds. I was in the 1-2-45s, and I was not winning.
I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember that. That was, I think Leon Woodford was second that day, so a British guy in second. And I do remember, because those Dutch races stand out. It's good memories. We've done another one a couple of years before that, or a year before that, at Lichtenvoorde, which was good. I think I was second to Eggins on the 8 small wheels. I think I was second, and it was a good time. Then my granddad again there, he was there, and my granddad was always this bloke. He didn't want a bed, come from like the war or something. He didn't want, like, if there's a spare bed here, Jay, and do you want to sleep in the bed? And he's like, no, bugger, he used to say all the time, I don't want to sleep in the bed. So he said, I'll sleep in the workshop. I'm sure this was at this Overloon. So he's woke up in the night to go for a wee or something. He's in the workshop in the back of the van, and he's tried to pull himself up with what's above him, which was the tire rack or wheel rack or something. And he managed to, pull a wheel down, which then just fell and smashed him straight on the nose.
Jesus.
Split all his nose open.
My God.
But he didn't even realise until the morning, and then everyone's like, what's happened to you? And he was like, something fell on me. But like, it looked like, the bike had fell on him. But yeah, that was, I'm sure that was in. That reminds me of Overloon, so it must have been there. But that was a good track, all up in the woods and stuff, and rough. It was good. So some good internationals back then, youth internationals, definitely.
Yeah. I got Spencer Cockerell has come on.
Yeah.
He's put, ask him if he wants to attend this, and then he's put, ask him if he wants to attend the Cockywood Mini Fest on the mini bikes. I heard he's quite quick.
I'm sure Benji asked me this, his brother.
Yeah, Benji.
A couple of years ago. I've still got my mini bike, my 50. Because that's where it all started on the 50s, Then it started getting all serious and going to 88s and 110s. I'm not a big fan of the 110s, Soon it'll be like 250s, small wheel 250s or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Here
we go.
Yeah, I don't know. We need to have a chat. Oh yeah, we've done the mini bike nations. Yeah, in Redbud. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, I say pretty cool. That was absolute. I don't know if you can ever get any footage of that. It was like a war zone. Yeah.
Was it?
there was thousands of spectators there, thousands and thousands. It was so wet. The track was waterlogged. Then the people went on the track, like 10,000 people or something on the track. No one could ride. Then they tried to clear them by riding. And as the people were riding around, I mean, you had Villapoto was riding, Langston was riding, Swanepoel. You know, forgive me, there's a load of other guys that were doing it. Elliot Banks Brown, Jordan Booker on our team. And we only had one bike each for a team. And they tried to go around and clear the people off the track, and all the spectators were just pushing the riders off.
Jesus Christ.
And then there was fireworks going off, and people were diving, and there was these full-on bare-knuckle fights in the middle of the track, not between the riders, spectators. It was just carnage. And then eventually, I think it was Davey Coombs that was trying to run it, and along with this other guy. And he was like, you know, desperate to get it running, and he was basically going to call it off. And then all of a sudden it cleared, and then it happened. And we done the race, and they done the podium ceremony afterwards, because nobody knew what happened really, because it was that much carnage. And we was just like, we didn't even go up on the podium. We didn't know what had happened, and it was only the next day we found out we finished second, so we didn't even get on the podium.
So it was absolute haywire.
Oh yeah, it was good fun though. I mean, it was wet, so I enjoyed it. I just went back and just got it on.
sounds like you might fancy this thing then.
I don't mind a bit of mini bike racing. Yeah, mini bike stuff. Yeah, it's good. It's good fun. I had to go the other day. I got it out the other day.
Did you?
And a major sore arse syndrome the next morning. Just like,
not done it for a while.
Yeah, it's just been too long. Yeah.
Someone's put, do you think Ben Watson can be in the top 5 next season? I believe he can. It's going up, obviously.
Yeah.
It has to go up.
Yeah.
What do you think about that role?
I don't agree with it. Not at all. That's what I was going to say. It's a shame that he has to go up. Because, you know, he'd be a true title contender in the
100%,
in the MX2. Especially, you know, I've always liked Ben. He's a nice lad. And his brother as well. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's tall, so that's gonna, in theory, that should help him a little bit with sort of it progressing a little bit quicker. But I don't know. I just don't hate this whole age rule thing, because it forces people into doing this, you know, moving up. And is it their time to move up? Do they want to move up? They've got no choice. I'd like to see him up there. I mean, obviously, there's no reason why he can't. He's proved how good he is. MX1 is a different kettle of fish in a certain extent, but they're all still riding motorbikes. It's the same in that respect. It's just they seem a little bit wiser, you know, a bit like the Chiodi and me Fox Hills. They're just a little bit wiser, and you know, stuff like that. But I'm sure he's going to fit in there pretty good, and it's going to be good for him as well, I think, to have his you know, both the Watsons in MX1. I'm sure they're going to help each other. It'd be interesting to see, definitely.
Have you seen that there's as it stood, there was no British GP?
Yeah, but I mean, let's face it, who wants to take that chance? Being a promoter, I wouldn't. No. It is a shame, yeah. But you know, I'm planning to get on a plane and head to Oman for the first round. No.
I was like, no, you're not.
No, I'm not. No. I am right in that though, and it's first round there.
Yeah.
Good
luck with that one.
I like geography, but I don't even know where it is. That sounds terrible, but
yeah, Jesus, even my mate came up with Panama the other night. I had to check where that was.
I know. Well, I don't know where it is, but
but a silly place.
Yeah, strange call, but you know,
probably be half a lineup, potentially. I would imagine no fans or
more than likely.
It's not good, is it?
No.
It's not a good look, mate. Numbers wise, did you ever have a favourite number? I know, obviously, when you got into the world stuff, everyone had their numbers for wherever they finished and all that sort of stuff. But was there a particular numbers you like? I know you went 23 later on and stuff like that, but was there any numbers you?
Right. So when I was in the schoolboys,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what reason it was. I got 34 at one point. I think that was when I went to the hundreds.
Yeah, see that.
So I kept 34 for 2 or 3 years. I don't know why. I just
There's no reason.
Just got used to it. Yeah, just got used to it. Then there wasn't really any, because it was all on championships then. So wherever you finish, and obviously in the British Championship, you'd go on odds and evens because of the mixed class race at the end. So they didn't double up on the numbers. So it'd be the MX or 125s would be even numbers, open or 250 would be odd numbers. So wherever you finished in championship, you get those numbers for the following year. Same with the GPs, wherever you finished in championship, you got that number. So it was just, I don't know, the end of 97, I was 23rd in the world. So obviously 98, I ran 23. And I'd always been a fan of Jordan anyway. Bit basketball days when I was at school. Another story there, broke fingers playing basketball, which lost European championships and stuff like that. But, you know, it's just, it's one of those things.
Something happens,
Yeah, and a stupid thing like a finger as well, you know. Not even on a bike, but been a bit of a fan of Jordan because of just playing basketball. And then, I don't know, obviously that year was a good year, a good breakthrough year, I guess. But we were still running the championship numbers. So the next year I was 7. And then whatever it was, 10, 11 and all this. And I got number 8 for I think I ran number 8 for 3 years when I was back in the MX2, just because I was number 8. Then I was 8 again, and then the next year I finished 6th, but I still ran number 8. So just because I was used to having 8. But then once I finished the GPs and stuff, I went back to 23. I just because of that year, really, it was just I liked the 23. And that was really the only reason. There wasn't nothing special about it. Like I say, schoolboy days was 34. So it's really 34, 23 and 8. I hated running number 1. Back then, you know, you had to run number 1 if you won the championship. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But, you know, it's not, I don't know, just don't like running it. Same with the Eastern Centre. They wouldn't let me run. Once I won the championship, I had to run number 1, and I didn't want to run it. But they were like, "You got it." And I was like, "I really don't want number 1." You know, I'm retired from racing, kind of professional racing. I go to a practice track or whatever. I've got number 1 on my back. You know, like people are like, look at him holding on. You know. I don't want to be number 1, but no. But it's nice, obviously, to run number 1 is for a reason. So I suppose it's cool in that way.
There is that. Yeah, there is that way. Do you ever have any favourite racing gear over the years that you really liked?
I guess, I mean, I was with Fox most of the time.
Very cool kit,
Yeah, I mean, definitely back in the UFO days as well, when they made like the red, white, and blue stuff for the nations, even though you couldn't see it after the start. You know, that was pretty cool, like one-off colours that you get for nations. So any nations gear was cool because it was always made specifically for the event. I've got boots and stuff, which were
and the helmets as well. Obviously, they were very cool with the nations.
I have got a boot here. It's changed. It's changed colour. This is from 2000. This sounds really random. I'm just picking this stuff up. Still got a tag on, right? Hang on.
Is that what it was?
It's I don't know if you can see that.
Fitting sample. Oh yeah.
And it's got a date on it and everything. It's gone a bit yellow, but it's brand new. It's got the pair, but these were from the nations in 2006, and I had 2 pairs of boots for 1 race. I only wore 1, but because I only wore 1, you see, I kept them. One's brand new, so they're still here, brand new. Never going to get worn. I just keep them. But I kept like all my nation stuff. But anything really, the Fox stuff for the nations. Some years was really cool. 2000 was cool. Yeah, and I think 2005 or 2005 was cool as well. Erne, and then I would say the Fox stuff definitely. I mean, like I say, some of the UFO stuff was pretty cool as well.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
The colours and stuff that we was running, but then, like I say, go to that yellow, red, and black Fox stuff from like 2000. Me and Jorgensen and Mackenzie, and you know, on the Dixon team was pretty standout. That stuff was good.
Actually, I think I've got pictures of that. Got to have some of that, surely. Ooh.
Yeah, that stuff. But we had a couple of different versions of it, so the different shirts as well to match the pants, and then we had the blue, light blue and red as well.
Got the same
shirt, yeah.
Do you remember the days of Atlet as well when you was on the old was it Sky Mass or something?
Sky Mass, yeah.
Sky Mass, yeah. I remember Finbar Knief seeing all that, riding all that.
Yeah, Finbar was. I don't if he was on.
Is that not that one?
I used to stay at Finbar's a lot.
Yeah.
But I used to have to travel up to Finbar's, stay with them, him and his family.
Yeah.
Nice of them to put me up, so then I could be out training with Dave, with Thorpe and the guys, because Dave had a group of guys that he'd be training then anyway, like physically training. So I'd be back and forth through the winter. Well, I'd spend like 5 days at Finbar's. The next week I'd be at home. 5 days back at Finbar's. The next week I'd be back home. So just so Dave could, the training, the physical side of it in the winter when it was wet and cold and all of that sort of stuff. Obviously in the season you can't be doing that. There's too much going on to be spending that amount of time away. But yeah, the Sky Master was cool. The colours and everything was pretty different.
Stood out a little bit.
Yeah, that was a lot. I think
not really saw that colour really before.
No, it was a bit fresh, wasn't it? I mean, it was a good combination. Not necessarily sure with the red, but you know, it stood out. I mean,
it did stand out.
Mark Eastwood was on the team, and Justin Morris, I think. That year. So I think I was the only one on the 125. I'm not sure. But yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Did you have any superstitions over the years? Did you have any of them?
No. The only thing, it's just by routine. It's just, it's just boots and gloves. Really, it's just. I've got to think about this now. It's been so long. It's left boot first.
First, is it?
Right glove first.
Oh,
because I think so, because I'm left-footed and right-handed. I don't know why.
I'm that as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, left-footed football. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird one, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but
no, I don't know.
I think that's all it was. Oh, there was once when I'd had a good race, somewhere, I don't know where, and I was still living at home then, and Mum used to do my washing, and old school peg out, closed pegs on the line, riding kit.
Yeah.
And I came in from a race and had a good race, and I found a closed peg in my trousers, and it was just like, and I obviously not even felt it in there. So from that day on until the end of the year, I ran the closed peg in the trousers.
Did you?
Randomly, just why, I don't know. Just that was it, really. Just stuff like that. Yeah,
that's a different one. I've not heard of that one before.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could have come in handy if I'd gone to a schoolboy race and you picked the pegs and could have wrote my own number.
Yeah, you'd definitely like the number one then, wouldn't you? You'd be like number one.
Oh man, I was the world's worst at picking pegs. Every time, you're guaranteed I'm in the 30s and up.
Yeah, but talking about pegs, Cole, can you remember how many clubs that you sometimes would go to in the old home riders of that club?
Oh, what? So like number 1 and 2 and 3?
Yeah, doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The old person with the bag doing that. Yeah, is yours and is yours. No.
I mean, fair enough. Once out of 3 races, but all 3 races. Nah, that makes sense to me.
Absolutely blatant, wasn't it, back in the day? And some of them.
Yeah, and a lot of the time they'd hand you a peg as well, which is even better. So, and then you're like, oh, 36. Thanks for that.
Yeah, you need slowing down. You need slowing down. Go far side. Is there any other sports you like watching, Cole? Is there any other than obviously cross?
I like speedway.
I
really like speedway. Yeah, I started getting into speedway a couple of years back. Well, just as I was finishing racing motocross, really started watching it just before that. And yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. It really appeals to me, and it's just the quick racing, and yeah, some of the moves that go on as well because it's such a short race. I've been to a couple of races now at Kings Lynn and the world's qualifiers, I think they were.
Okay.
You know, where it's like a bit of a nations thing.
World Cup.
Yeah, the World Cup. Yeah. And yeah, went to Ipswich last year, I think it was. Watched there, and yeah, it's good. You know, I really enjoyed, you know, when the GPs were coming on and stuff. And this year I've missed them because it's just been a bit random, innit?
Yeah, very quick and over.
Always used to look forward to the GPs. I'm trying to think. There's other things. I started watching a bit of Formula One. Started. Occasionally. Okay, it's just nothing against it. I mean, it's just sometimes a bit boring, obviously. But
yeah, I feel that. Yeah.
But you know, any kind of motor racing, really. Yeah, I do. Been watching the British Superbikes this year. I like that, and obviously MotoGP if I can catch that. And World Superbikes. I just caught a few of those this year. Jonathan Ray was tearing it up again. But yeah, it's been. Apart from that, I mean, I don't know. I sometimes find myself watching basketball. Yeah, anything really. I mean, I'm not a football fan. Got to be honest. I watch the World Cup only because it means something. Yeah, and once that's finished, I generally won't watch football again until the next one. So.
4 years, yeah.
I like the Olympics. I do like the Olympics.
Yeah,
I love the Olympics. Yeah. Again, it's just that whole big, you know, well, any kind of athletics as well. I like to, you know, the Diamond League stuff and all that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Just seeing, you know, these people, how disciplined they are for one sport, and you know, that can be over so quick as well. It's it's amazing, really. But yeah, it's good. It's good to watch that. It's just general things. I do find myself watching cycling sometimes as well. I know I absolutely hate cycling. I've never cycled. You know, I know a lot of training nowadays. The riders are cycling so
quite
much.
popular now. Yeah, quite popular, isn't it?
I'd rather get off the thing and throw it in a river and run. I mean, I used to run more than cycle. So
yeah.
But you know, living around here in the Fens, I mean, we've got no hills for a start. Well, I think the highest elevation we've got is about 10 meters in the whole of Suffolk, something stupid like that. But, and then it didn't matter what direction you went in; it was headwind. It seemed, you know, it's just
that's not good. That's not good.
It used to do my head in, and there's no, you know, you're in the middle of fields, and cycling down a wide, you know, road. It's just open, and it just didn't excite me at all. I'd rather go running or swimming or anything rather than cycling. I did do it. I used to have to do it, and that was it. But I wouldn't do it religiously like a lot of guys do now. I mean, I know cycling is a massive part of the training.
Seems to me,
But I couldn't deal with that. No, not especially on your own, if you know what I mean, as well. It's just, you know,
does that make it bit mind numbing for you? Is it?
Yeah, definitely. And then going along and the lorries come by and they suck you in. I didn't really
fancy that. No,
feel too keen on that either.
No. Did you ever fancy having a go at Speedway then, or never had a go then?
No, I had a go on a grass track bike, which was Sam Malenko's, I believe.
Nice. Yeah.
Back a long time ago, we did the MCN shootout thing where they did the disciplines of motorcycle.
Oh yeah, I remember them things where they all had to go at different. Yeah,
the trials, road race, Speedway, the sidecar guys were there. You know, road race sidecars and stuff.
Yeah.
And I kind of got bought into it because I thought, this would be quite cool. You know, you get invited to come along, and I thought, man, I get to go on a road race bike.
Yeah.
You know, but that was the only thing we didn't get to go on.
Oh, shit.
I think the road race guys got to go on motocross bikes, but we weren't allowed on road bikes. We did get a couple of laps around Mallory Park on a road race sidecar.
Okay.
As a passenger.
What was that like?
Oh, God. That
No
was
thanks.
lethal. I had obviously none of us turned up with levers. We don't have levers.
Yeah, yeah.
No boots. I had trainers on. My feet were miles off the tarmac. They did lend me some levers and possibly a helmet. And yeah, I just remember him going, "Oh, we're going to cruise a lap first of all, and then we'll give it a lap, and they judge you on how well you move around in the chair, if they call it that in them. I don't know."
Yeah, yeah.
And anyway, he didn't mess about. He went round the first turn, and I was like hanging on for dear life. And then he slams the brakes on, and honestly, you're stopping yourself and flying out the front of the thing. And then he accelerates, and you're hanging on for dear life, trying to not to fall out the back of it, because if you're going out the back of it, you're not going to stop until you're doing 100 and whatever mile an hour. And you're that close.
Not too sure about that. Yeah, feels so quick, doesn't it?
Crazy.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was good fun. Obviously, the road race guys won. I think they won that competition every year, when it ran.
Yeah,
MCN event.
yeah. Got to win that then.
Yeah, there was a couple of us motocross guys that did it. I can't remember who it was now, but Lampkin was there, I think, from the trial side of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
You good on a trials bike? Because obviously you was technical on a motocross bike. I thought I'd have seen you.
Never really had a go, to be honest. No, we did get. My dad had one for a little while, a couple of years back. I don't know, 10 years ago or something. No, it's Suffolk again,
Too
isn't
slow.
It?
No wheels, yeah. It's no good for a trials bike.
No, if you've got somewhere with some hills and stuff, and, then it's worth it. But not around here. Well, you'd have to make something, wouldn't you? But
yeah,
I'm sure there is places to go. But yeah, I never really. I don't know. Always found it a bit strange, the whole gear shifter thing being like a meter away from my foot, or the foot peg, should I say?
Yeah.
It was like you're so used to having that. I know it's like that for a reason. I know, but you're so used to having your gear shifter there, where
Close by,
yeah. And then when you've got to move your foot, it just didn't feel. It felt weird.
Bit weird,
yeah. Yeah.
Did you have any close mates, friends around the paddock at the motocross and that? Did you have any riders that you were close friends with, other than teammates?
I was just kind of friendly, really, with everyone. I mean, I did sort of strike up some sort of, I would say close, because at the end of the day, when you're racing people, you can't particularly be too close. I always thought, I don't know, it was, as a team, every year, whatever team I was on, we was always quite, teammates as such. We weren't like enemies, sort of Dugan had some good laughs with Dugan the few years that I was with teammates with him. And Yorgi, stuff like that. And it's, but no, I mean, I'm just trying to think now. My memory. It's been a while, It's been a while.
Yeah.
Years.
Was there any guys that you didn't get on with too well?
I had some incidents with people, but
What sort of people?
No, like
your dad. No, I'm joking.
No. No, just riders, really, just riders. I mean, there's always someone you've got to have your wing mirrors out for. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, no, that I wouldn't say anyone in particular. I mean, there was a year when me and Brad Anderson ran into some stuff together a little bit, but nothing, nothing came back to the paddock or nothing. It was all on the track.
No,
so that was how I was. You know what I mean? I wouldn't come in, or I think I was. I don't ever really remember having a row with someone, and I maybe did. I don't know, but if someone did something on the track, then just leave it on the track and wait for the next time. And I know the mechanics nearly got going at one race.
Did they?
Yeah, but that's because they can see it, and it's just racing's heat of the moment stuff, isn't it?
Of course it is. Yeah,
but
happens, doesn't it, with racing?
Yeah, yes. No, other than that, no, I don't think so.
If you If you could give advice to any youngster that's currently racing in youth motocross that wants to go pro, what would you tell them?
Don't expect too much. You know, as in, you know, don't expect an easy ride, because it's hard and it's getting harder. To turn pro as well. And when I say turning pro, I don't mean turning pro and racing in a pro event. I mean turning pro, which means earning money, earning a living from racing. That is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, things have changed a lot, obviously, in that respect. I mean, all you can do is do your best. Don't expect a lot, and just be thankful for everything you do get. I mean, any little thing can mean, you know, can be big, really, this day and age, it seems. You know, I remember back in the day, well, I was still at school when that's when I started earning money to race. I was at school. Much to my friends at school's sort of dismay.
I'm sure.
But you know, it weren't a lot, but it
must have been cool though.
It was cool, yeah, it was cool. But I don't know if anyone can do that nowadays. And even products and stuff. I mean, you start racing, when I was racing the GP, started racing GPs, you start scoring points, and people just give you stuff, or they would back then. You know, you'd be like, "Oh, do you need some boots? Do you need a helmet? Do you need goggles? Do you need more kit? You know, do you need tires? It's like, what? You know,
what's going on?
Yeah, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
And we kind of had personal deals with companies and stuff a lot of the time. But I think now most things are wrapped up in teams and stuff. But but yeah, no, my advice would be to just try your best, put everything into it. You know, you've got nothing to lose. If that's what you really want to do, but just expect it to be tough, and don't expect anything for nothing. Yes. Excuse me. That's the easiest way to sort of put it. I mean, that's only going off how I see it at the moment. I mean, it is difficult to, like I say, I'm not closely enough involved in that, but I do speak to a few riders that are trying. You know, that are really, almost banging their head on the wall kind of thing. And it's a shame to see, because we need talent coming through. And talent needs to be recognised by the industry and helped along the way to the next level, because it's very difficult to get to the next level now on your own, or impossible even. So.
I was speaking to a lot of the guys. They seem to sort of, there was a lot of the guys, even the top guys, Rob Herrings, Dobby, and all sorts of guys. They were sort of saying like they would have trouble with companies not paying what they said they were going to, or not paying mechanics, or not paying wages because you're injured. Or did you ever have any problems like that, or was everything all right?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to find a rider from my era that didn't have a problem in that way. I did encounter some of that. And I had a contract, and took the contract to be looked at, and there was nothing I could do. It just weren't even worth the paper it was written on. And then people get away with it, and as a rider, you've done your season, and at the end of the season, you don't get what you've signed to do.
Crazy, man.
And I mean, it only happened once, I think, like that. And that was what was that, 2004, when I was on the Honda, and it was the team. It wasn't nothing to do with anything else. It was the team. And it obviously, you just get left with nothing. You get paid to a certain extent, and then it gets to a certain point of the year, we'll pay it, and add my wages, whatever. So don't worry, we'll pay you. And then another month goes by, all of a sudden, oh no, we can't pay you now, we've got no money.
Bloody hell.
And it's just like, and then to get me to, well, you know, so or they said, oh, we will pay you, you know, what we owe you, but you know, are you going to stay for next year, kind of thing. Oh, you know, so kind of get you like that. So then you do that, and then the next thing, they fold the team. And then it's like, it's December, I've got no right. And this is where I was at earlier with the KTM thing. But I mean, fortunately, that was a good thing that came out of a bad situation.
Yeah.
To end up on the KTM. But other than that, just silly stuff, you know, where just, I mean, most people that I've dealt with have been fine. Most people. I mean, I've mainly, probably another downfall of mine is I didn't have a manager. I just preferred to do it myself with company, you know, with the companies I was dealing with, because I figured they would rather talk to a rider, but I don't actually think that was the case. I possibly should have had a manager that could have dealt with that all those situations instead of me. But yeah, most of the people that I did deal with, you know, I kind of built up a relationship with them in the way. I was quite loyal to the companies that I was working with, whether it was, you know, Fox or goggle companies. You know, it wasn't many. I don't think there was ever really where I did 1 year with someone. Sorry, and that was it. You know, even bike wise, it was only the Kawasaki. But I mean, we had a bad year, and that was down to just obviously the Fourstrokes coming in. This was with MJ Church. I mean, there's a great team, very professional people, and you know, the bikes after when I was there was just, you know, the 250Fs and stuff. When Saudi and Paul Ann was on them, and Tom Swampole, you know, those guys, they were just awesome bikes. But you know, the year it was me and Marco Kovalainen were on there, and we was kind of, or the team was promised some sort of factory support or some kind of help. And it didn't materialize, and we was just, it was hard work. It was hard work, and that was a hard year. So I only stayed there for 1 year, but that was, I wanted to go back to MX2 anyway, or go to MX2 because I come from 125s. But it's not all it's not all glamour and cash.
No, that's what I think. A lot of people didn't realise what was going on.
No, and you almost sound like you're, or you think it sounds like you're dissing it, but I don't have to really bowl to anyone anymore, I guess. So I can just say how it is. But you know, like I say, I was quite lucky. I know some guys have had it a lot worse. And even, you know, the best in the world's had problems in that respect. But you know, it is it's very expensive. I mean, it was expensive to run one rider doing GPs when I was doing it. You know, with the Husqvarna team with Trevor Avery. And he, you know, he told me what it used to cost him to run it, just me for the year, basically. I mean, Saudi was on the team 1 year as well with us, in the 125 class, and it is a lot of money just in travel, in budgets, you know. And then even, you know, he wasn't treated amazingly because he was known to buy parts. You know, he was known to sort of use his own money to buy stuff. So that didn't play into his hands in the long run, because companies knew that it'd just buy it anyway if you couldn't get it, you know. And that's the kind of thing, the feeling I got from him anyway. Probably explained differently to that. But you know, Trevor was very, very passionate and put so much time and effort and his own money into the whole of multi-tech, starting off, you know, for the years that he did it for, and very passionate about it. And even down to exhaust pipes, he couldn't get an exhaust pipe sponsor one day, or no one would give him exhaust pipes or whatever it was. So they made their own exhaust pipes. With no exhaust pipe experience, as far as I know, of making them anyway. Yes, we made his own exhaust pipes. Him and Carl Presswood, I believe. 2C exhaust pipes. And then stickers one day. He couldn't get someone to make graphics, so he just made his own graphics. It's like, if they don't give them to me, I'll make them myself. So yeah, he was. That's just what Trevor was like, and they did a lot of stuff they made themselves as well. A lot of parts and bits and bobs. Generally, stuff performance.
They always all right. They always all right.
Yeah, I'm sure he made some foot pegs and stuff once, like titanium foot pegs and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, they are.
Yeah. Yeah. He got into cycling, I think, and he wanted to start making, as far as I know, bicycle frames and out of carbon fibre. So he bought like a pretty expensive one and cut it in half to see how it was made.
So you can see what was involved. Loved it then.
Yeah, just this, like, I don't know, $2 or $3 grand or more bicycle frame. Just saw it in half, see how it's made. I'm going to make one of them.
Yeah.
That was the last I heard, anyway.
That's way too technical for me.
They used to make some good stuff though, and then when Multitech, we was at one point they were working on a development kind of Honda sort of bolt-on kit, I guess.
Okay.
And that's they were doing. That was nice. I mean, James Cottrell was riding it at the time, I think. Or was developing. He got injured, and they asked me to just do a bit on it, just to see it. So I thought of it, and it was pretty nice. It was to Honda 250, pretty nice kit, but I don't think it ever went into sort of production. There was a lot of handmade stuff on that as well.
That was all right, was it? Yeah,
it was good. Yeah.
It's interesting. Well, I'll ask you one more thing before I let you go. We've had a beautiful 3 hours that we've done.
Yeah, that's all right.
Top man, I really appreciate it, Carl. If you had the power to change anything about motocross now, what would you change?
Wow, I don't know.
I don't want to be asked that.
No, that's quite hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
If I had the power, I don't know. Just go back in time. Just go back, or put some of these modern bikes onto the older tracks. Just get some of the old tracks back. Let's say that, because I just think, there's back in the day, there was, we go to different tracks in different countries every year, pretty much. There were some countries that we would use the same track every year.
Yeah.
Or we go to a random country but I mean, the tracks were awesome. Hilly and natural features with man-made obstacles. And yeah, if we could see some of those tracks come back, whether it's never going to happen, is it? But yeah, I mean, that would be cool. Yeah,
it's more about sort of getting the rigs in and all that sort of thing, isn't it? And
yeah, well, when we went to where did they have the last GP in Italy? Was it Trentino?
Yeah, that's it, Trentino. Yeah.
We went there in, let's say, 2007, and I don't even know how Mikey was my mechanic that year. Who commented.
Mikey Whitway.
Yeah, I don't even know how they got the race truck in there, because they weren't really a road in. I'm sure they cut some trees out and stuff. So there's been a lot of infrastructure, a lot of work done in there.
Yeah.
To make that what it is now.
Yeah.
That was quite. We went up these like little lanes and all sorts to get in it. I'm sure we might have gone the wrong way though, because we used to like the wrong direction back in the day.
Did you? Yeah, a bit of a team thing, was it?
Yeah, it was a good. Yeah, Steve was pretty good at. We did often go to the wrong airport as well to come home. Turn up and they weren't in the flight to Stansted or wherever we was flying, and then he'd look at the ticket and go, "Oh yeah, well, actually it's not here. It's a different airport."
Mikey said that Steve was quite passionate to work for and everything. He's a bit crazy, and Steve Dixon. He was sort of telling me a few stories.
Steve was really good. I mean, he was really passionate as well.
Yeah.
He was just flat out non-stop. He wanted to do everything, all the jobs, and a couple of times, a sort of when the chips were down, kind of thing. I was like, Steve, you just need to get someone else to do something, that. But Steve he just wanted to do everything, if you know what I mean. It was just the way he was.
Yeah.
And yeah, he, I don't know it like Mikey does, and the guys from the workshop, because I mean I know that they used to have to put a lot of time in, and you know Steve had, but he was clever. You know, he had some good ideas as well. And I know that his bikes have always been fast. There's no doubt about that. The Kawasaki's and the Yamahas of when Osborne was here and all that kind of stuff. But you know, they were always on the limit. But you know, they were amazing as well. So yeah, I've forgotten what the question. Now that was that a question. I've forgotten now.
Well, we started out with what would you change in motocross, and then we
yeah.
went into talking about Steve.
Yeah. No, so it was the tracks, weren't it? Yeah.
It was the tracks as well. Yeah. So, but so I spoke to Steve as well, and he said about go down in the workshop and that. So that should be quite cool.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still where he was when I was
Southampton.
riding. Yeah, possibly is then. Yeah.
That's where he is.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You should get yourself down there. But in the meantime, you have to hound my dad and and get
you're gonna have to be part of that then.
Get him on, and then you could have like I don't know what you want to ask him, but he'll make you laugh, I'm sure. But he'll have some good stories.
We'll have to do some team riding for that then to set that up.
Yeah, well, you know, he done the first ever Supercross in America at the LA Coliseum. He was in that race where that guy goes cartwheeling down the start straight.
Was he?
Yeah, I believe it was that one. Yeah,
that's a bit of an iconic place.
Yeah, him and Dave Bickers, I believe it was over there, and they did that first ever Supercross. He said the lights were terrible, and all they did was dug the jumps into the floor, or out of the floor, should I say? So it's a football field, like they are. Yeah. And then they just dug a hole behind the jump, built the jump, jumped the hole, but you couldn't see the hole because of it was a shadow. So
light was a bit dodgy, was it?
It was a bit sketchy. Yeah, Twin Shock Supercross Championship. This must have been pretty good.
Sounds naughty.
Yeah, he used to do a lot of traveling around America, France, and a lot of international races and stuff. And yeah, spent a lot of time with Bickers and CZs. He's just got a passion for CZs. Like I say, he's got two of them at home, and he'll never, like I say, he'll never use them. One of them took a long time to restore, I believe.
Did it?
Yeah. Just you can imagine just finding the parts for these bikes. I mean, they're becoming a little bit more common now, and obviously people are recreating the parts. But yeah, you should get him on. It'd be quite funny.
Yeah, you'll have to help me with that then, mate.
Yeah. Well, I've already asked him, so
you've already put that in motion a little bit.
Yeah, and he did say no, but we'll ask him some more. He's only worried because he knows he's going to swear.
Yeah, that's fine anyway. Normally, once the guys get about half hour in, then they start warming up, and then they start dropping them in. Then even mail-ins and all them are doing it.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, I've been a little bit calm, haven't I? Then
you have. I can't even remember you doing one.
No, I don't think I am. That's the thing with having 3 kids, isn't it? Like, you know.
Yeah. You got to use get your curve it a bit.
Yeah.
Top man, Carl. I really appreciate that, mate. I really enjoyed that. It was awesome.
No problem. That was good. I enjoyed it too. That was good.
Really cool. Thanks for coming on as well. I noticed you come on and commented when Dobby was on. That was funny.
Yeah. No, that was cool. I just wanted to see what he said. That was all.
Yeah.
Well, good to get the opportunity to ask these questions, don't you?
I think he swerved it a little bit.
No, that's all right.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, it's good.
Right, thanks for that, mate. I really appreciate that. I'll have this recorded up tomorrow and then share it out there, and then we'll work on your dad.
Yeah, no worries, mate. All right, well, thanks very much. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Cheers,
Carl. Absolute pleasure, mate. Cheers, mate. Take it easy. Thanks, Carl. Cheers, mate. Bye. Beautiful. Love that chat with Nunny. What a man he was. What a rider he was. Great lad. Remember him in the BSMA days. Yeah, what a rider he was in the team. Everyone remembers the BSMA team greens, and someone's put Big Stew on. That will be entertaining. Yeah, we're going to work on that. Then it sounds like Cole's already asked the question. He got a quick no, but hopefully we'll be able to get him on. We don't mind a few swear words here and there. We can look past that. Great show, Lee, with a top bloke, Colin Nunn. There's no name on that one, but thanks whoever wrote that. So, people, basically, when you go on, before you click on the live, I think it pretty much says it on the actual bit that you're about to click on to come in live. I think it says click on this link, and then it allows your Facebook to sort of accept StreamYard, which is what this is. And all it does is literally you're just so like when you get a little game or something on Facebook and you have to give it your permission to use your profile. It's just that basically. So you sort of click on that before you come into the live. So I think people just sort of obviously click to go straight in, but there is a link on all of them. You click on that first, and then it allows your Facebook profile to come up like that. And then you can see the profile, and then I can see who the name is, and then I can quote who's saying it. So that'd be cool if most of you can remember to do that next time. Simon Lane, good job. Thanks, mate. That was really enjoyable. 3 hours and what's that? 3 hours and 15 minutes for Colin Nunn. Loving that. Martin Smith, cracking. James Stanton, another great interview. Thanks ever so much for everyone coming on and asking your questions. Really appreciate that. It was quite cool as well to be able to get through a lot of mine there at the end as well. It was nice. Sean Byrne, awesomely. That was great, mate. Kevin Wilson, please get Cole's dad on. It sounds like Cole's going to team ride with me on that one, so hopefully we'll be able to get that. Sounds like that'd be really interesting. It sounds like he remembers all the memories as well, so he's got a great memory, which is good. Sounds like he probably remembers more about Cole's career than Cole does. Probably like Mr. Hurry. Graham Hurry always remembers more about Paul Hurry than Paul Hurry remembers about himself. So Gary David, another great one. Lee, Cole Nunn, top man, yeah, awesome rider. I love watching Cole. Had the lucky enough to ride against him in the early days on the hundreds. I think I remember when I'd been riding a couple of years, and that was really cool. We saw him at the start. That was about it. And he went up very, very early to onto the 125s, 14, 15 years old. Great talent. Awesome rider. What a rider he was, Mr. Nunn. So that was really cool. It was some things I had to mention to you as well. Here we go. Smith goggles on. What was the one I was going to mention? So I managed to speak to Paul Cooper today as well. Multi-British champion. GPs for Great Britain. What a legend he was as well, Paul Cooper. Yeah, I've agreed with him today that I'm going to do one with him live next week, this Thursday. So I've got nothing tomorrow night. Thursday night, I've got Ollie Allen, great former British spear rider and current joint team manager for Team GB for Speedway. He's on Thursday night. And I got Joel Smets, 5 times world champion, Mr. Joel Smets, next Monday night, 7 p.m. UK time, by the way. And then I think Tuesday I got Chris Morton, British Speedway legend, 7 p.m. on the Tuesday. Nothing on the Wednesday. And then I got Paul Cooper live on the Thursday. And I've also since then spoke to Neville Bradshaw, and he was talking about possibly coming on with Cooper at the same time. So obviously I've never done any more than one at once. So it could be interesting to maybe branch out into the 2 or 3 guys at once. We've sort of mentioned it with British Speedway legend John Davis. Mentioned about him coming on possibly with one of the American Speedway stars. There's a few names been banded around. I was speaking to John about that, so that's possible as well. So maybe branch into a couple on at once would be quite interesting. Vin Pryke, brilliant show, worth staying up well past my bedtime. Thanks, Vin. And it's going to get to mine soon as well. I've got to go and have some tea yet. Hopefully the missus has not fed it to the dog if she has made me something. Oh. What does that mean, Laney? 3. Missus has come on and put 3. What do you mean by that? Not sure what you mean by that. Jay Jones, great interview again, Lee. Thanks, mate. Thanks for everyone coming on. Really appreciate it. And I can see that my phone's been lighting up quite a bit when I was looking at it. I will get back to everyone. I've got 16 messages on Facebook Messenger. I will get back to you all. Hopefully it was probably about tickets, I'd imagine, for the Rob Herring bike. Don't forget, people, Let's get them quickly up. Where have I got some on here for you? As you can see, look. Let's get the banners down. See the full thing. As you can see there, look. Rob there, look, with the Silkaleen Honda 1991 replica that Rob did himself. Absolute peach. So if you want a ticket for that, people, definitely worth a punt to have a ticket with that for this. There you go, look, Rob signed the front plate for us. So it's personalised as well. Not only did he do the bike himself, he's now signed it as well, which is really cool. There you go. There's her in her full glory. Beautiful bike. Rob the man, the fish. There's Rob, look. Back in that 91 season on that bike, on the Silkaleen Honda, look. And there's some more footage of him. There's, not sure where that is, but I definitely know that's Fox Hill, the first tabletop in the valley, I believe, on the Honda, look. That was Rob riding it back in the day in 91. He went on to win the British Championship in that year as well. 11-time British champion, Mr. Rob Herring. So, yeah, get at me for tickets, people. Next week, 3. Two together, that would be great. They'd bounce off each other. You could sit back and enjoy the banter. Martin Smith. Yeah, I think that's what we're talking about. Yeah, that would be a cool thing. Obviously, it's all about the guests, so we obviously want them to talk and talk about their memories. So yeah, it'd be just basically a case of just setting off with a question from either you guys or myself, and then letting them get into some good chat. And then whenever that chat finishes, get the next question in for them guys and let them carry on. That would be pretty cool. So I reckon a couple of speedway ones like that and a couple of motocross ones. Well, that sounds like that could be good fun. So we'll have a chat with that. I'll chat with them guys and see what we can do on that for you lot. Hopefully you'll enjoy that as well. Sounds cool. So don't forget then, people, Rob Herring bike. Get at me as soon as possible. To be fair, I'm really chuffed. Thanks ever so much, everyone. The response has been amazing. Yeah, we've already had, I think I was possibly near about 80 tickets gone already. That's in, what, 48 hours now? So that's amazing. I really appreciate everyone's involvement in that. Obviously, I know that was the whole point with speaking with Rob and getting the bike. Knew that would go down well, obviously. What a legend he was. Plus a personal thing of signing the bike. He did the bike himself is extra special for sure. So glad you people are all loving that. So hopefully got some more messages. I've got 16 messages on my Facebook Messenger. So hopefully that's about bike. Hopefully. So let me know what you think on that, people. Get to me for tickets as soon as possible. Looks like they're going fast. So I shall got a break tomorrow in my Laney Lou. And then be back Thursday night, 7 PM UK time with Ollie Allen. Looking forward to that. Chewing the fat on Speedway. Some great times, great memories. And he's now joint team manager with Simon Stead for the Team GB. So that'd be interesting to talk about the current as well as some of the past. So that'd be interesting. So hopefully you guys all tune in for that. And yeah, I think that's it. I'm going to go off and get some tea if it's not in the dog's belly already. And hopefully I'll see you guys Thursday night for Ollie Allen. And then obviously we've got a great one next Monday. Booked it in on a Monday on purpose. I said to Joel, we'll get rid of the Monday blues next week, Monday night, 7 PM UK time, which I believe is 8 o'clock for Joel. And he seemed up for it. And I said we'll cheer up everyone's Monday blues on Monday night with Joel Smets. That'd be a really cool one. So we can look forward to that one as well. So that'll be the next motocross one. So right then, people, I'll leave you on this. Good night and God bless. And I have to leave you always on my dad's quote he always used to use in his latter years, bless him, before he went. He always said, it's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. So I'll leave it on that. Thanks ever so much, everyone. Thanks for everyone interacting tonight, bringing your questions. Really appreciate it. Great questions. Thanks a lot, everyone. And see you all soon. Ciao, Bella. See you all.